What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cristal
And Maul.
Podcast, episode 124, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good Monday, whatever you're doing. You're at work, you're at home, whatever you're doing. We appreciate you tuning in to the show,
Mm-hmm.
turning us on for your daily sports and entertainment news. We got a lot of things to get into today.
Mm-hmm.
NFL, college football, some boxing, a little bit of MMA stuff too, WNBA stuff. We got a full slate, but until we get into that, Maul, what is going on?
Man, feeling good, man. Feeling good. Can't complain. Enjoyed the day off yesterday. How you feeling, man?
Good, man. I can't complain. I'm alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 1 week out till Thanksgiving. F1 week this week.
Yeah.
I mean, you excited about that?
No, I'm not. But whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm excited for Thanksgiving though. I'm excited. I'm
I'm a,
excited to eat,
I
chill.
got to work for Thanksgiving. So, some of us got to work for Thanksgiving, Maul. Some of us ain't got it made like that. Bars shut down and stuff,
Well,
lounges,
the bar.
etc.
Well, technically, it's not shut down. I just got it off. Vacation day. Excited to go to the game next week. See Duke, see Cooper Flag in person. I'm excited about that. Hopefully, you'll be able to join. Um, yeah, man, we'll see what's up, man. I'm just excited to get this week over with, man, so I can enjoy this next week off.
Right on. All right, man. Let's talk about Draymond Green.
Right off the bat, huh?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
we get into it, buddy.
let's go. Let's go. All right, my guy, set
Get
it up.
this shit out. Let's get it out the way.
Oh, I ain't never heard Chris cuss like this. Okay, let's go.
So Draymond has a little podcast, and he had Jordan Shorts on, and they're talking about the Chiefs, and he said the Chiefs have not been looking good on offense, uh, and that we're gonna lose, meaning the Chiefs, in the first playoff game that they play, whether it be wild card weekend, the bye week, coming off the bye week in the divisional round, they're gonna lose their first playoff game, which
Yep.
sent Chiefs Kingdom in a frenzy because who the fuck is Draymond Green talking about football? But anyway,
Four-time champion, a defensive player
NBA,
of the
yeah,
year.
yeah, NBA champion, not NFL. Anyway,
Hmm.
uh, something's over. You there?
I hear you. You're frozen though.
Okay, now you back.
All right, now you're unfrozen. There you go.
Anyway, what were your thoughts, sir, on these comments?
Look, man. You know what? No, I want to hear you first. I
No,
want to
no, no, no,
rebuttal off
no.
of you. I want to
Because
hear
I
you
want to
first.
rebuttal. Because
You
I
want to
want to
rebuttal?
rebuttal.
Okay. All right. Look, man. As far as like what Draymond Green said, I don't see what the big issue is. We've seen it for the past year and a half. That the Chiefs' offense is not. It's just something missing with it. I think me personally, I think Patrick Mahomes has regressed. I think we saw it, some of the underlying problems that last night, with the Chiefs and Bills game, which I know we're going to get more into. I think there's inconsistencies with Mahomes. I just think people are too scared to say it. You know what I mean? I think that people got so accustomed to just him being able to win these games out, show the magic, and he's done it to the degree with this team as far as like in the fourth quarter. But we got to stop. We got to stop dismissing his problems, his consistent issues with this offense is that you have no explosion. You're very dependent on this defense and this running game. I get it. You did get DeAndre Hopkins and stuff like that. And Draymond Green kind of alluded to it in his statement was that you can go ahead and you can get Isaiah Pacheco back. You can get DeAndre Hopkins. You can get these talented players. You got Xavier Worthy. You drafted him, but I'm still seeing the same problems that you guys had last year. And then luckily, this defensive line, I would say this defensive line is like been playing all-time great these last year and a half. I think so. I think this defensive line is literally the MVP of this team. And I don't see how any Chiefs person or any NFL guy that's watching this team not say that. Like Chris Jones has been the real MVP of this goddamn team. And then you kind of saw with the game yesterday that they weren't able to get the pressures on Josh. I wouldn't say get the pressure, but they weren't able to get him down. They didn't get no sacks yesterday, so I think that kind of impeded on them being able to get that defense off the field. I think you're starting to see this defense tire out a little bit because this offense can't really do anything. Look, we can't deny the goatness of Andy Reid. Like, we got to all put him in that category. I think he needs to win another Super Bowl for him to get close to a Bill Belichick status. But I think the longevity of Andy Reid and how smart he is as an offensive minded coach, just a coach, period. I think you got to put some on that. I think he needs to get way more credit than what I think he gets now. He should have a couple of Coach of the Year awards, but he doesn't really get the acknowledgement because a lot of people like to put Patrick Mahomes as like the savior. But at the end of the day, I don't see what he said wrong. I already know your rebuttal. I already know what you're gonna say, but I really don't understand why Chiefs fans are so uptight about what Draymond Green said. Just the fact that y'all gonna lose in the first round, whatever round your first game is. I think that's the only thing I see the uptightness about. But I think you guys can acknowledge that your offense isn't clicking, and it hasn't clicked in almost 2 years. And I get it. You situationally, he does show up, but he has a turnover problem. This offensive line has issues, especially on that left side. Pacheco is not saving it. Like, I would have more of a belief in it if Rashee Rice was coming back, because we saw the type of player Rashee Rice was when this offense when he was in this offense. But I don't think Isaiah Pacheco is going to save it. I think Kareem Hutton's been playing pretty well, minus yesterday. I don't see Pacheco. I think Pacheco might add a little bit of juice to it, but I don't see him, pushing this offense to put to some elite status. Travis Kelce's getting a little older. I think they still have some trust issues with Xavier Worthy. Marquise Brown is not saving this offense. So I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts, but I'm gonna let you rock though. Go ahead, man. Give me your spill.
Thing is breaking up. Listen, man. I'm not even talking about the offense. It's more so what he said about the play. What track record does he have to prove that we're gonna lose in the first round?
I don't even say it's a track record. I think it's something that he sees as. I think. Look, I get it. Draymond Green's a basketball player, but he's still a professional athlete. I think he sees something within that team.
Better question. Mm-hmm. What offense is worse, last year or this year's?
I would honestly say this year's, man. I really would. It's something don't look. I think Patrick Mahomes looks worse this year than what he did last year. That's me. That's me.
You trust Kadarius Toney and MVS over the weapons this year?
MVS was one of your saviors last year. What are you talking about? I get it. Don't get me started on Kadarius Toney. Don't get me started. But you had Rashee Rice last year. You had a healthy
in the season.
Travis Kelce was a year younger. So yeah, I do trust that offense way more. Just because you give me a D-Hop, just because you give me a rookie Xavier Worthy doesn't change anything. I would trust MVS more so than I would trust Xavier Worthy. Yes, Xavier Worthy is way more talented than MVS, but is he going to come in the clutch? Do they have some issues in trusting him and not just doing wheel routes and fucking reverses and shit? He gave you a couple of instances where you saw the deep threat. Look at yesterday. He had a chance to catch that ball, but for some reason he couldn't drag his fucking goddamn toe. So like, I think in due time, I think Xavier Worthy will be a better receiver than MVS. But currently, right now, no, I would not take Xavier Worthy over MVS. No, I wouldn't take Rashee Rice was way better than DeAndre Hopkins is right now. Now, if you added Rashee Rice, if Rashee Rice was healthy in this offense currently with the D-Hop, then yes, with the healthy Isaiah Pacheco, yes, I would take this offense more so than last year's. But currently, right now, in this present state and way it's constructed, no, I would not. And plus, I also think Patrick Mahomes is playing way worse than what he was last year.
I give you the whole interception thing. Yes, he's worse. He's turning the ball over because last year I would say most of those turnovers weren't on him. Those are more on tip passes,
Yeah, most
drop
of that was
passes.
drops last year. I think the main problem last year on the offense was drops. He's throwing terrible interceptions right now, overthrowing the ball. Like he's getting sacked and he's just throwing the ball in the air like he did, like dumb shit. Like this is stuff that you expect Mahomes not to do. He's like reverting back to what he did at Texas Tech his first year, for his first couple years with Kansas
He
City. Like
don't.
just
I don't think he don't trust that offensive line. That's what it is, and he's
but his
rushing his
offensive line was
throws.
terrible last year, wasn't it?
No, it's way better last year. It was
Okay.
way better last year.
So how can you ask? All right, all
Now,
right. So you pretty much answering your own question. How are you asking me the question of who do you trust more when you're literally clearly saying the offensive line was way better, which I think is one of the biggest keys to the offense. So how can you honestly sit here and say that you
but
trust the
still,
offense this
the
year?
but still, but still, last year's offense was way worse because they dropped passes. They couldn't line up right. It was more to it than just yeah. This year is Patrick Mahomes not uh making throws that he's used to making, and also and then add on to the offense. It's not the weapons this year. It's not
I think
Travis
so
Kelce. It's not
because
DeAndre Hopkins. It's not yeah,
they're not getting
Xavier
open one
Worthy.
on one. They're not getting open one on one. They're not. They
D Hop
play
is
man
getting
to
open.
man. They play they when they took advantage. Bills were in man to man defense.
And see, and then and this and see, I don't want to get into too much in the game, and this is where Andy Reid messed up because you see they're in man to man, run the damn ball. They got too pass happy yesterday.
But
Way too pass happy.
But okay, isn't that a problem saying that when you have an offense ran by Patrick Mahomes? Is that not a
No,
problem? If you put Joe
no.
Burrow back, look, I talk shit about Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow is playing way better than goddamn Patrick Mahomes right now. Josh Allen's
I
playing
bet he
better.
does if you got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase out there.
Oh my god. You had Rasheed. He was doing this with Rasheed Rice and Travis Kelce. What are you talking about? He literally
If
overthrew. All right. He is the main reason why Rasheed Rice is not playing this year.
I
He is the
acknowledge
main
that.
reason. He overthrew the
And
ball, and I'm not going to get on his tackling capabilities because they truly are terrible. But come on, man. Come on, man. I get it.
I
You
acknowledge
guys,
it. I know. I acknowledge that he is not playing well this year. I've said that many times on this podcast. That I came in here and shrugged my head down, and you go, "Oh man, y'all gonna be all right. Y'all gonna go undefeated." Blah 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 blah. And I kept telling you, "No, the hell, we're not. We're gonna
I only
lose to
said that,
Buffalo."
but see, the only reason I said that, I've been stating that your offense is playing terrible. I said that the NFL would just find a way to get you guys over the hump because that's kind of what they did. Now, obviously, I think Josh Allen. I don't want to talk too much about the game because I know we're going to talk more into it. But look, man, I just think. All right, let me ask you this question: how much concern do you have going into the playoffs with this offense? You will get Pacheco back, but do you have a
I
strong
would.
concern?
I would. The only way you would make me concerned is if week 17 we look like this.
But don't you
Because
don't you?
you got to think we look bad when we played y'all and we lost to y'all last
Yeah,
year.
y'all look bad y'all look bad majority of the year. And then all of a sudden it took the Raider game to
Yes,
obviously make y'all play better. Even in the playoffs, y'all offense wasn't really playing good. Your
but you know
defense
what
was
was
the main
different.
reason why y'all did it.
But you know what was different. You know
What
what
was different?
You know what Patrick Mahomes understood. I can't
What?
turn this motherfucker over. I can't. We can't have badass penalties shooting ourselves in the foot because it wasn't just the drop passes more last year. It was false start number 74. Yeah, Taylor.
And that's still a
That was
problem
right
this
on
year.
time,
That's
but it's
still a
not as
problem
bad as
this
it
year.
was. It's not as bad as it was last year.
Because
Last
they
year
don't
it
want
was
to
like
fucking call it. They don't want to fucking call it. He's doing it every
we're not
time, bro. What are
we're
we
not we're not
talking
gonna get
about?
into it. I'm not going there with you with the refs.
You
You go with
let's
the refs.
go there. Come on, brother. Like you cannot sit here and look me in
The
the straight
refs
face
didn't.
and say that you guys. He doesn't have the same. Like Taylor is literally having the same problems as he did last year. They just refuse to fucking call it. They
They do
refuse
it
to
on
call it.
they do it with Josh. They do it with Lane Johnson and all the rest of these right tackles that do that shit. So I don't
All
want to
right,
hear
look,
that.
I get tired of the whole premise that every O line does it. I'm just talking about Jawan Taylor. I'm not denying that Other O linemen may do it too. I'm talking about your boy currently. Does he or does he not do the same bullshit that he did last year? Maybe at a worse
Yes.
clip right now. He's maybe at a worse
At,
clip this year than he was last year.
at times, yes.
Patrick Mahomes does not trust that offensive line. I don't see Juwan Taylor getting better 4 or 5 weeks from now. I think it's going to be the same consistent problem. Now, you're going to tell me maybe the running game will help because you have Isaiah Pacheco back with the 1-2 combination with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, and that way you can save both of them. So maybe that might protect Mahomes as far as like being, dropping back so much. That could be a possibility. But at the end of the day,
and one thing, and look, this could be coach speak, but even Andy Reid said today, look, maybe I need to, chill out on certain things to help out this offense and not make it so, complicated for certain people. You know what I'm saying? Because you do have new pieces in there with D-Hop. You do have Xavier Worthy still learning this offense. Not to say that he's not getting open. He's getting open. It's just that deep field, that deep pass in common connection with him and Mahomes just isn't there yet. Because if he hits Xavier Worthy on that pass, we might score on that drive.
It's a possibility. I think it also comes down to the Chiefs of their arrogance and them thinking that this football shit is too easy. And sooner or later, when you keep putting your hand close to that fire, you will get fucking burned. And this team is starting to play with that shit. Like you could tell with Travis Kelce, he want to clap at the end of the game, being like, "Congratulations to the Bills, you got your dub. We'll be back." But like, you can't just assume that everything is going to keep going your way in the playoffs. You can't just keep assuming that you can do these ring around the rosy fucking plays and disrespect these teams and them not going to want to knock you upside your fucking head. You can't just assume that you're going to get the catch. You can't just assume that Patrick Mahomes all of a sudden is just going to flip the switch and this team is going to be fucking the most perfect team in the fucking world. Like Patrick Mahomes has been playing consistently bad ball. Even in the playoffs last year, he was playing consistently bad ball. Now, situationally, Patrick Mahomes has shown up in occasions, but you can't just assume that's always going to happen. The bounces went your way. You can't just assume it's going to keep continuously go your way if you keep playing arrogant football, which your team is currently playing. They assume that everything's going to always go their way when the time comes. And we all have seen that history tells us that shit will not always happen for you. And you will be looking like you just ate ass face going into the playoffs and losing to a team that you wouldn't expect losing because you just assume that you guys are going to win this game. And you know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. History.
We don't assume. You
do assume that. Chiefs fans assume. All I saw yesterday is, okay, we got the L. We got the L. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. But you guys don't. All right. Okay.
We'll be fine.
Okay. Y'all say that. Right. Okay, y'all got all right. I get it. It's one loss. Like you see me tweet it. Like everybody's celebrating. Like she's got the one loss, but I put the Kobe shit up. Like it ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. So, but I'm telling you, there are teams where they see what the Bills did. They can easily do it just as better than them.
I'm not tripping about this loss because at the end of the day,
it's one loss.
We still got one loss, and
you're still the number one seed. Of course, you guys shouldn't trip.
We're still in the and Buffalo's next 3 games ain't easy, boy.
No, but as I said, you like I just don't want I don't want to hear it when you guys can just keep playing bad. And you guys keep telling yourselves as the week goes by, this offense is going to eventually click. We're getting Isaiah Pacheco back. This offense is going to click. We got DeAndre Hopkins. He just needs a little time. It's going to click. And it never does. Travis Kelce, he'll get there, but he getting older. It don't click. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it because eventually it's going to bite y'all in the ass. Y'all not always going to win shit. Y'all not. Just because you got Patrick Mahomes back there don't mean nothing, man. I've seen some of the greatest quarterbacks lose playoff games you didn't expect. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
I'm not saying it isn't. Look, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It might happen this year. Lamar might finally get over the hump. Josh Allen in the playoffs might finally get over the hump.
Russell Herbert, Wilson Chargers team. That Chargers team is looking really good.
Yeah, Lad McConkey's starting to look like maybe a number one. But still, like I said, man, I'm always gonna be confident in my team, man.
You should. But we'll see. I don't think Draymond Green, going back to Draymond Green, I don't think he said anything wrong. I just think it's more so that he said y'all are going to get beat whatever
But
first game y'all play, whether it's division or wild
we,
card. I think that was mainly it.
yeah,
I don't think it was what
yeah.
I don't think it was what he initially said. I think y'all in deep
No,
down y'all believe what he said.
not even deep down. We talk about it in the spaces all the time. What's our problems and
Okay.
our concerns is the pass rush is a concern. Because our DNs, I saw a report yesterday. Our defensive ends are at the bottom of the list of getting win rate.
Yeah.
Dana and George Karlaftis. It's CJ or bus. It showed yesterday, CJ or bus, and he even got there a few times. But Josh Allen is like Big Ben, like with Cam Newton legs. Like you
Yeah.
can't get him down unless you just like you got to get about 3 or 4 dudes on that guy.
Yeah.
And
I,
and
ju-
I
I
dive and I dive deep more frustration as far as
mhm.
that game with some of the things I saw from Spags, but yeah.
I think the Bills were the first team that didn't beat themselves. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
know
they
Josh
went and
Allen
got it.
I know
They
Josh
went and
Allen
got
do
it.
that. He threw that. I know we're gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get to the game. We'll talk about it when we get to the game.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's talk about Colorado.
Yeah.
The Colorado Buffs' chances of getting the trifecta. So is that Coach of the Year, Heisman, and what else?
Making it to the college 12 top 12 playoff.
Yeah, I think that their chances are very high now. Like they're number one in the Big Ten. What's Big Ten, right?
Yeah, I think they're tied. They're tied right now because of BYU's. Not BYU's. BYU's us because of the conference record.
They're in the Big Ten or the Big 12.
Big 12.
Big 12. So they're
Big
number
12.
one in the Big 12 right now. Their chances are really good. I mean, they're playing their best football right now. This is when you want to
Mhm.
start playing your best ball right now, and getting that momentum is heading into the 12-man playoffs, and it's theirs to lose. Because if they lose one game, you know what it is. Like they're gonna gladly keep Dion out of the playoffs.
Which is kind of crazy though, because I think Dion just puts more fucking eyes on the fucking
I
playoffs than
agree, but
him not
you
being
can
in there.
tell
But
they don't want that man up in there, man.
nah, yeah, I know.
Um, um, but yeah, Travis Hunter is his Heisman to lose. Like,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying? I know everybody's talking about Genty, but unfortunately for Genty doesn't have the national narrative like a Travis Hunter does. You know what I'm saying? On top of the skills. You know what I'm saying? Like if Genty played for Florida State, not Florida State, but I don't know, Georgia. If he played for Georgia, if he played for
Mhm.
Alabama and he was doing this, I think he'd be
Mhm.
right there with Travis Hunter. I think we'd be talking about Genty a lot more. You know what I'm saying? I know people were bringing him up, but it's always going to be, strength of schedule, blah, blah. Even though Colorado's strength of schedule isn't crazy,
Yeah.
but still, Travis Hunter is more polarizing than Genty because of his skills on both sides of the football. You know what I'm saying? He plays offense and defense. So, and he's great at both sides. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's hard to deny that. So yeah, I think they have. I think they have a huge chance to get all three because Dion right now is very deserving. The only coach that I would say is right there with him is the Indiana coach.
Yeah, it depends on what he does against Ohio State. Do they
Yeah,
play
yeah,
this
yeah,
weekend or
yeah.
next weekend? One, two, yeah.
This week,
I think they
this
play
week,
this weekend. Yeah.
this week. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. If the Indiana coach beats Ohio State, then he might he might get it because you just beat the number 2 team.
Yeah, no,
So
I personally think Dion. I think Dion's a lock. Even unless if Indiana goes and beats Ohio State by like let's say like 14 or more, then I think it's like all right, we gotta have a real conversation. But even if he wins by just 3, I think what Dion has done with Colorado and where they initially had him, they had him being the worst team in the Big 12. So now he has the opportunity to be a Big 12 champion. Um, I think I would say this: Hunter is number one. I think some of the Genty talk is starting to get a little disrespectful to me with Genty. I get it that Hunter is an amazing talent. He's playing on both sides of the ball. He's well deserving of being in the lead of um, the Heisman, but we got to put some respect on Jinty, man. He's about to rush over 2,000 yards. He has 1,800, a little. I think he has about like 1890. I think he's about a couple yards away from 1,900 right now, which he's clearly going to get over. He might hit 2,000 this coming week. He's got to put a little bit of respect. He's having an all-time great running back career. He's one of the best running backs to come out probably since shit. Who would we say? He's probably the best running back to come out since who? Maybe Saquon, I would assume. So we got to put some respect on Jinty. And I get it. I do agree with you in the sense that he doesn't get enough of the spotlight based on what college he was at. Like if he was at like a USC, if he was at a Penn State, if he was at, let's say, he was at Colorado currently, right? Man, imagine if they had Jinty, Shador, and that shit would be that would be bad news for teams, bro. That would be an easy Colorado national championship for me. And then obviously with Dion, with this team making a 12-team playoff, we also got to give a big shout out to Warren Sapp, man. This guy is becoming a well-deserving defensive coordinator right now, the way he has that D-line playing right now. So, honestly, when I actually with Jinty, I did see a draft mock where they had him going to the Cincinnati Bengals. If he goes to Cincinnati, I think that would be a nice fit for him, playing off of Jamar Chase and all that. But I think they have more issues than getting a running back right now. But yeah, man, I'm really rooting for this Colorado team. They do have a semi. It seems like it's a big game now with Kansas coming off that big win off of BYU. So that's going to be a huge win. They're going to have home field advantage. While Colorado goes to Kansas, I still expect, especially with that offensive line, the way they're playing right now and how physical they are, I think Kansas is going to have a real hard time. And then obviously they got the last game with Oklahoma State. I think that one's at home. So I think those are two winnable games. I think Kansas, it will probably be the tougher of the two, surprisingly, based off all that momentum they're coming off of BYU. So there'll be a lot of eyes on that game. Colorado's going to have a lot of eyes on it. I really hope Colorado does make the playoff, because I think it'll just make it way more exciting. Imagine if we get a Colorado versus Alabama. Imagine if we get a Colorado versus Ohio State or something like that, or Texas. I think that could be one of the biggest games of the year, viewership wise. We all know Colorado games are always exciting in some way or fashion. Colorado's going to make it an exciting game. So we know primetime knows about showmanship. So it should be interesting these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of which, let's talk about the college football 12 playoff rankings, or top 10 rankings right now. So you have or top 12. We got Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Miami, and Boise State, with SMU, BYU, Texas A&M, and Colorado at 16.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you got?
So for my top 12, I got Oregon number 1. I think that's easy. Number 2, I got Ohio State. Obviously, they got the big game with Indiana, so we'll see how that goes. Texas has been playing really good these last couple weeks, so I got them at number 3. Notre Dame, watch out for Notre Dame, dog. Notre Dame is playing really, really good, man. That's a team that a lot of teams need to be keeping their eye on, man. We all seen them going on the road, beating Texas A&M. We all know what kind of hostile environment they got going on. Marcus Freeman needs to also be in contention for Coach of the Year too. I get it. He had that loss against Northern Illinois, but he has them rolling. Number 5, I have Indiana. Obviously, they got the big game coming up with Ohio State, so I had them ahead of Penn State at number 6. Penn State's been playing. Obviously, they the only loss they had was Ohio State, close game. They could have easily won that, but I have them at 6 right now. I expect them to get back in the top 5 depending on how the result goes with Indiana and Ohio State. Number 7, I got Bama. You know what I mean? Got to put some respect on it. Bama's been able to bounce back with a couple of their losses. They've been playing really impressive. Number 8, I got Ole Miss. 9, I got Georgia. I had Ole Miss over Georgia based on they beat them head to head. I know Georgia had an impressive win at Tennessee at home. Started off a little slow, started looking a little shaky with Georgia in the beginning, but they were able to bounce back. Number 10, I got Boise State, man. Boise State's been playing really good. Jinty, I think they have a clear cut advantage of making the 12 team, especially if they win the Mountain West. Number 11, I got Colorado, man. Colorado's been playing some of the best football. You can easily say the way they're playing right now, they're easily top 10. And then number 12, I got Tennessee. I know they lost to Georgia, but you still got to put a little respect on them. They only had one loss before that. And then my first four out, I have Miami, SMU, Army, still 9-0. And then I have BYU at the end.
Yeah, our list is pretty much similar. The only thing that's different is I got Tennessee at 11 and Colorado at 12.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't mad at that. You can do it either way. Cool.
So, yeah. All right, for sure, man. All right, let's talk about the WNBA, man.
Yes, sir.
So the lottery was yesterday. They actually made the announcement joining the Chiefs and Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they did. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, I would say this. The WNBA they need to get their shit together when they do these things, man. Like, they cannot be competing with the NFL, man. They got to stop competing with the NBA finals, man. They got to find their slots to announce this shit better and have their games, man. They need to work on that.
Yeah, they do. They do. But nevertheless, we got Dallas Wings are number 1, so they're projected to get Paige Beckers. Number 2 is LA Sparks. Number 3 is the Chicago Sky. Number 4, Washington Mystics, and number 5, I got the Golden State.
Golden State Valkyries. Yeah,
Valkyries. So I'm just gonna do I just need the top 5. I know the Mystics got 6 or whatever. But what are your thoughts?
Congratulations to the Dallas Wings, Enrique and Paige. I think that'll be a good backcourt, a really good backcourt. There are rumors that Paige did prefer to go to LA. You know what I mean? Not surprising, but we'll see. I think she still has a year of eligibility, so we'll see if she even comes out. You know what I mean? Like, this draft is not really the most impressive draft. I would say at least as far as like star potential. I think Paige is probably obviously the biggest star that could potentially come out in this draft. But look, man, no, there are good players. I'm just talking about more star potential. I'm just talking about more star potential.
Like,
there are really good players.
There's no Angel Reese's, no
Caitlin Clarks and stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any of the other players. Like Judd, and like you got Judd coming out, from Connecticut. She's a really good guard as well. It's just more so just I just think it's more so just star appeal. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of great talent that's coming in this WNBA draft that a lot of these teams can definitely look forward to getting. So it's going to be kind of curious to see if Paige does anything crazy to try to make her way to LA. I know that, but I think she'll just be honored to play with Dallas. I think with Dallas, if they can find a way to re-sign, I don't want to butcher her name, Sabuli, the power forward or center that they have. I know I've been kind of hoping that maybe the Aces can get her on free agency. So, but I think this will be good for Dallas to kind of boost them up. We all know that fan base out there is ready to get a winner out there. Obviously with the Mavericks, having a great fan base, the Wings are going to get it. I'm also curious going into next season, Golden State, the Valkyries, how they're able to, build that team out. I'm curious to see what they can accomplish. We all know that fan base, losing all these teams. I think they're going to be very, very supportive of this WNBA team going forward. The Mystics have a really great opportunity to kind of build their base as far as like adding talent to that team. It's been a while since they've been kind of relevant. Obviously everybody's going to pay attention to the Indiana Fever and who they draft to pair up with Caitlin Clark. They got their new head coach, so obviously there's a lot of hope and expectations going into the Indiana Fever. And then it sucks that the Aces had to lose their first round pick due to the De'Erica Hamby situation. So obviously they're not going to get anybody, but it'll be curious, man. I'll definitely watch the WNBA draft to see how it goes. I think this league is heading in a promising direction. Despite the reports of them losing money and possibly going on strike. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We don't want this league to halt any kind of progression that this league is currently getting due to the likes of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and all these great Angel Wilson and all that. We don't want that to happen. We want to see this league continuously grow. So so we gotta look forward to that, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to the Dallas Wings. They do get Paige Beckers, that'll improve their team.
Mhm.
It'd be interesting to see what direction LA Sparks goes. I know I think they're projected to get the girl from USC, the power forward girl,
Mhm.
but I don't
Mhm.
know because you got Rike, you got Cameron Brink. I don't know if you need another big girl. You might need a point guard over
They
there.
need more guard help. Yeah, they do. Or
I
wing help.
think
Yeah.
I think I think the Olivia Miles girl will probably make a little bit more sense for them. So,
Yeah.
um, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But shout out to the WNBA, man.
Yeah.
You know, I agree with you. They need to do these lottery things different. Do it on a Monday, on a
Like, bro,
Tuesday,
who
on a
is this?
Tuesday.
Like, bro? Hey, look, I'm gonna put my name in the hat. Like, if y'all need scheduling help for the WNBA, I'll be more than glad to do that. I have a great extensive background in doing stuff like that. Like, please give me a call. I will put my resume in, and help you guys out. There is no reason why you guys are doing the WNBA draft in prime time
And I,
football
I get,
with
I get.
the week of the Bills and the Chiefs. I would get it if it was like last week when the games was like fucking ass and nobody wanted to watch any of that. But you decide to do that the week of the Chiefs and the Bills. Like, what sense does that make, brother? Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
And I kind of get what they was trying. Oh, we're gonna play it in the spot because everybody's watching. So I get it, but still.
That was terrible. That is terrible, dog. That is terrible. Oh man. Shout out to them though.
All right, man. Let's do our bet US surefire picks.
Let's do it.
Man, what you got?
So I am going to go with. I'm gonna go with the Texans -7. I think they should easily blow out this team. I know 7 is a lot of points, but I have no faith in them at all. And then for tonight, for basketball, I'm going to take the Detroit Pistons money line, and then I'm going to take the Miami Heat -5 over the Philadelphia 76ers. They're supposed to get Jimmy Butler back tonight, so I'm gonna take them.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Houston Texans too -7. They should.
They
They
should.
should.
They get Nico Collins back too, so that's why I also took that as
Yeah,
well. You know,
listen, they should destroy this team. But the
they should.
Texans,
Yeah,
boy, yeah.
yeah they've been
CJ,
struck.
don't let them hang around, man.
Nah,
Don't let the
nah,
Cooper.
please do
What's
not.
his name? Cooper, whatever
Cooper
his name
Rush,
is. Yeah, don't
right?
make Cooper Rush out here looking like the second coming of Joe Montana or something.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, but no, I think they should blow this team, man. It should be another blowout for this week of football. Um, but I also I like the Knicks, even though it's -14. I had the Knicks over the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, they should easily be. That should be an easy dub. It's an
I
easy
like
dub.
that.
Wizards are
I like
terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, all right, if you go to any of our social media websites, you'll see the link for the Bet US link for their website. Go to it. First time users only.
Hmm.
If you put in the promo code 125, join 125, you get 125% signing bonus. Uh, Minimum $100 up to $5,000. Um, 3 risk-free bets, which means that if your first 3 deposits of $100 or more, if you when you bet and you lose, you keep your money on your first three
Always a good
deposits.
thing.
You know, so you don't lose. It's a win-win regardless. You can win money or you can lose and keep your money. So go ahead and sign up for Bet US, man, and tell them Chris Mall sent you.
Yes, sir.
And that is our Bet US surefire picks.
What's up, Dennis? Yeah, if the Cavs beat Boston tomorrow, I think it might be. I ain't gonna say they're gonna not lose the game the rest of the year, but I think it's gonna be a while before they lose the game. I gotta see their schedule.
All right, man. Let's do a early NFL draft discussion. QB edition. We've been having this discussion about certain quarterbacks coming into this next the Cam Ward's, Carson Beck, Dylan Gabriel, Jackson Dart, and where they will be selected. You're in the mindset the Cam Ward drop,
Mhm.
whatever they're going to prop up Carson Beck. So, you want to open up this discussion?
Yeah, like I know me and you we kind of discussed it at work a little bit, as you kind of said that when we kind of look at the draft with the quarterback situation going on right now, I think Shador Sanders is the clear cut favorite to be the number one quarterback getting taken off the board. I think Shador Sanders is an elite thrower of the football. His pocket presence, I think, is elite. His precision is elite. The confidence level is through the roof. His showmanship is through the roof. Like, he has everything you want as a quarterback, and I think he'll be a great CEO. I think a lot of players would be a believer in Shador Sanders. You could tell he's definitely a team guy. He builds up everybody around him before he takes the credit of himself. You know, you kind of see it in his post game interviews. Like, he's a very mature young man that we know Dion. He's raising his sons to perfection. You know what I mean? He instills God in him and all that type of stuff. But you just see the presence that Shador Sanders has amongst his team, and how much people love that Sanders family and love playing for him as a quarterback. So we know he's going to be clear number one. I think it gets real interesting when you start getting number two. Everybody would assume Cam Ward should be number two. I think me and you both agree Cam Ward is easily the second best quarterback in this draft. But look, we all know the draft ways, man, and how some of these GMs and scouts are going to start talking. The Mel Kipers and Todd McShays. I know Todd isn't really, we don't really see him too much anymore, but we know what they would say. Like, Cam Ward, there's going to be a lot of discussion around him with his age, his injury history, some of the issues that Miami has had in the beginning of the first halves and a lot of these games, and games that people believe that they should be blowing out, these teams are winning and they're struggling to even get a couple W's. You know what I mean? So I just personally think that the way this is going to go, I believe Cam Ward is going to drop. I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped in the 20s and like in a Michael Penix situation where maybe somebody might pick him in like, the early teens, late teens situation, depending on what they need. And I can also see them bigging up a Carson Beck. Like, we see, like, you kind of see the capabilities of Carson Beck, but I see a lot more flaws than anything else with him. He reminds me of kind of like Will Levis to me. He reminds me of a Will Levis to me to a degree. Like, he has arm talent. He does have the arm talent and stuff like that, but he throws bad picks. Some of his decision making is really questionable. He has a lot of talent that helps him a lot. With this team, the defense helps a lot too. Even though Georgia's defense hasn't really been playing too well. But I just think that's the way it's gonna go. I think Jalen Milroe is kind of a project. Like, I think he's an Anthony Richardson project, where you're gonna have to be patient with Jalen Milroe. I don't think he's gonna be kind of this player that's just gonna come into the league and just ball out. I think he's gonna need a situation where you're gonna have to put him in. You're gonna go through some bumps. But if you can be patient and you can develop him, I think you can get a promising prospect. I think minus Shador Sanders, I would probably say maybe Dylan Gabriel might be the safest one as far as pro potential. I know he's a smaller quarterback, but he's played against some elite talent, especially like Ohio State, and he's looked really good. You know what I mean? I think obviously with Dylan Gabriel, it's all about, having the offensive line surrounding him. He kind of has to be in a situation where you put him with elite talent. I'm not saying he's going to carry you or anything like that, but we saw him with Oklahoma. He was able to beat Texas. We see him with Oregon. Like, he's a very consistent quarterback. You kind of know what you're going to get.
I think he's a better athlete.
Yeah, he's definitely a better athlete than he's a better athlete than Tua. Quinn Ewers, I have some health problems with him, but he has the capabilities of it. Drew Allar,
he got better version Colt McCoy written all over him to me.
He do too. I'm not really the most but people are gonna, he's playing at Texas. I think people are just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Drew Allar, I think he's a project as well. I think I put him in the same as Jalen Milroe. He's a very stationary quarterback. He's not really athletic to me. Cade Klubnik, I think he's also kind of like a project. He's a very athletic quarterback. We kind of saw with the run that he did to win the game against Pittsburgh. So
Sewer viewers is funny.
who? Sewer Ewers.
Sewer.
That is hilarious. I never even heard that name before. That is insane. Lord Jesus. I don't know. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the draft? Do you kind of agree with my sentiment, or?
I'm hoping I'm a little more optimistic when it comes to Cam Ward. I think once Cam does his pro days and he sits in front of an organization and talks to some of these people, they're gonna see he's a leader of men. And I've seen it in plenty of interviews. You can tell his teammates love him. They showed a video of him giving chains to his offensive line, and so he's got a close relationship with the team, you know. And not on top of the talent, you see the talent, you see the arm talent.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, I understand he has, you know, he's a little older, and he has his health issues, but I think his health issues are behind him. You know, he's been pretty healthy this season and last season. He was pretty healthy. He's just, you know, like I said, the kid is just talented. You know what I'm saying? I don't deny Shador is the number one quarterback coming out, but I think Cam Ward is not too far away from him. So any organization looking at you, New York Giants, if you pass on Cam Ward, then just I don't want to hear nothing about y'all want to win. I know that the whole thing about Mora, he don't want a black quarterback.
I don't think he wants a black quarterback. I really believe that. I don't think he wants a black quarterback. And look, but you're not saying nothing wrong.
Hopefully Dayball cusses him out and says, "Man, I'm trying to win. I don't care what color he is." But it just Cam is just too damn good. He's better than Carson Beck. He's better than like you put Cam Ward on Georgia and they're undefeated right now.
No, absolutely, bro. I'm not disagreeing. I completely agree with what you're saying. But me and you both know.
You put him on Alabama, he's undefeated.
100%. I agree with you. All I'm saying is we both know that in the NFL they're gonna pick and prod Cam Ward and what he had to go through, being you know, where he started from to where he's at now, all his injury problems, him being in college for too long. And then the prospects of Carson Beck being younger, they probably feel his arm is probably better, and him playing at Georgia. I just can honestly see that I could see the New York Giants bigging up Carson Beck and being like, yo, I'm going to take Carson Beck over Cam Ward, even though we're all going to look at them like, what the fuck are y'all doing? But I could just see the New York Giants doing it. I really could. And they would pick Carson Beck, and then Cam Ward would probably drop and go to, like, you know, whatever team that has the capabilities of picking him. So I'm not a Carson Beck guy. I truly believe Cam Ward is like 1B to Shador Sanders. I think I'm, you know me, Shador Sanders is a Raider. And I'm going to attest to that. I'm going to talk that shit into existence. He going to be wearing silver and black. He wants to wear silver and black. His dad wants to wear silver and black. It's just the reality of it, man. So, man, just bring me Shador, man. I'm ready for him to get his name to get announced as the Las Vegas Raiders.
I will say this. If you guys do get Shador Sanders, you might have to start talking about the AFC West, man.
AFC West is nice, boy.
Herbert, Knicks is balling out. We might have to talk about Bo Nix being in the Rookie of the Year conversation with Jay Daniels, and he might be slightly over Jay Daniels right now. He playing a little bit better right now.
I know we're gonna talk about it here, but man, we both gotta kind of apologize to Bo Nix, bro. Like, he's been balling.
There's somebody, him, and I gotta apologize to somebody else too.
Yeah. We gotta apologize to him. Yeah, so. Yeah, but it should be interesting. I think this draft and the way it's going to go about it is going to be one of the more interesting drafts going in. I know in the future we're definitely going to talk about other positions like running back and wide receiver and defensive side too. But it's definitely going to turn into one of the more interesting drafts. And it's crazy, like, why out of all the places this shit got to be in Green Bay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this draft deserves to be in like LA, New York, Vegas, Miami or something. But now they're going to be in Green Bay. I'm like, where the fuck they going to do the draft at? Like, y'all got a convention center out there?
They might got a nice little convention spot.
Like, where's this draft going to be at?
They might got a convention center out there or something.
Like, how big is their convention center? How many conventions are going to Green Bay, Wisconsin? like what? Like
Shout
what?
out to my
John Deere?
people.
Like John Deere? Like, nah,
Shout
no
out to
disrespect to Green Bay,
shout
but
out to
like,
my
come
shout
on,
out
bro.
to my
Let's be
people in
honest.
Green Bay.
Like,
Man.
where are they gonna do this shit at? That shit has to be in Green. That shit
Hey,
has to be.
hey, if you're from Green Bay and you watching this, man, tag Mom. Say this is what we have.
Yo, please, educate me, please, man. I'm not even trying to talk shit about you. I've never been
got
to
a
Green Bay.
4-star penthouse building up in this bitch.
Hey, y'all might. I don't know. Hey, I don't know.
Laid out for you.
Hey, shut me up, man. Because at this point, I'm like, yo, where is this drive gonna be at, bro? Because I'm like, Shador Sanders in Green Bay.
Any fan base that owns half of that part
What's a red, like, bro? Y'all really gonna have a red carpet in Green Bay? A red carpet in Green Bay? Like, come on, dog. What are we talking about, man? Come on, man. That sentence alone don't even sound right, bro. Come on,
man. They had a red carpet in Detroit.
Detroit's Detroit, though. Come on, man. Look, Detroit is Detroit. Like, stop.
Detroit filed for bankruptcy.
Whole city. I get it.
Whole city filed for bankruptcy.
One of the hearts of Motown, dog. Like, back in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
See.
All that's holy. You know, as I said, man, like, you know, where they gonna stay at? The Holiday Inn? What kind of hotels y'all got out there? What kind of hotels they got?
They gotta compete with the beer and cheese convention.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? It's like John Deere convention, cheese conventions and shit. Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
Shout out to Green Bay.
Hey, but shout out to Green Bay, though. Shout out to Green Bay. Shout out, yeah.
They gonna bring all the stars.
All right, bro. Y'all got it. So y'all got it. Y'all got it.
All right, man.
I guarantee you won't see one celebrity at that motherfucking draft, bro. They about to fly him in and fly him out.
They gonna be there for sure.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, you know,
how much do you want to put a bet that Shador Sanders does this shit at the crib?
He gonna walk.
How much you want to bet this motherfucker does that shit at the crib?
He gonna walk on stage especially if he's a Raider. He gonna walk on stage and with the rolling, point at it with the jersey.
Nah. Look, I'll say this: if the Raiders get the number 1 overall pick, that motherfucker's gonna have a draft party out here in Las Vegas. You already know it. He probably gonna do that shit in front of the Raiders headquarters.
And then they gonna be tampering. Then you ain't gonna lose your draft pick.
How's that gonna be tampering? How's that tampering if we got the number 1 pick? We already know what we gonna do. They had Caleb Williams in February and gave him the goddamn playbook. What are we talking about, dog? Come on,
that's man. Tampering too. Chicago should lose some draft picks for that.
Nah, hell nah.
That's funny. All right, man. Let's talk about some MMA. John Jones, man, coming off of a explosive win on Saturday. Back kick to Stipe's stomach. Yeah, took him right on out. Mm-hmm. No, what was crazy was that first round, that slam he did. That shit came out of nowhere. I was like, how you do that? But anyway, what is where do you rank John Jones all time as an athlete? Not just as an MMA fighter, not just as a boxer, but as an athlete.
You got to put him up there, man. He's 28-1. He hasn't lost a fight since 2009, and then even with that, he got disqualified off of a hit that is now illegal. So a lot of people think his record should be switched to undefeated. So, from the likes of it, like when you look at his record, like he's beaten all the greats. Like he's beaten Ryan Bader, Mauricio Ruo, Quentin Rampage Jackson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, Alexander Gustafsson, Teixeira, Daniel Cormier twice, and then Cyril Gane and Stipe Miocic. So, and then now, obviously, you know, people are asking for the Tom Aspinall fight, and obviously, he wants Alex Pereira, and we see what Alex Pereira has become this year alone, these last 2 years. So, just the dominance of him going up in weight class and dominating the heavyweights, you got to put some respects on his name. He's up there with he's definitely the greatest of all time. I agree with Dana White. He's the greatest of all time in MMA. I think you got to put him up there with the all time greats, man. I think it's well deserved. he will definitely be the face of MMA. So you would put him up there with the likes of Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, stuff like that. So we got to salute to John Jones, man. He's a great. I know he's gone through his demons with certain problems in his history, but to be able to go through what he's gone through and still maintain dominance, you got to salute that for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's why I think he's up there too, because all the stuff that he's gone through and some of the layoffs that he's had, and then he to come back and still be great and dominate. Because most guys, even in boxing, we've seen it happen where guys have long layoffs and
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be, demons or contract issues or whatever, and they come back and they're never the same. They get
Yeah.
knocked out, they look sluggish, the speed is
Mm-hmm.
gone, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
this dude just doesn't lose, and he's moved up, weight, and he doesn't lose nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
You saw it on Saturday. He was just too fast and too much for Stipe. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, dude is just he's amazing, and he can do all. He can get on the ground with you, he can strike with you. Like he's just great all around fighter, and you got to definitely bring him up in the conversation of top 10, probably top 15 athletes of all time.
Yeah, for sure. Like you saw it with Stipe. Even though Stipe did look old, you could tell he was just he needed to retire, and he did the right thing by retiring at the end of the night. But you just saw the pure dominance of it, and I get it. People are expecting that Tom Aspinall should have an advantage with youth and stuff like that, but I don't think John Jones is worried too much about Tom Aspinall. I know you got to worry about the power and the quickness, I would assume, but Tom Aspinall is a great fighter. I just think John Jones is an elite fighter. Like he's turning into like kind of like the longevity of how we see with LeBron James. Kind of seeing that with John Jones. You would think you would see kind of like this fall off from dominance, but he slowly picks you apart from the kicks to the legs, kicks to the stomachs, the grappling and laying on you and putting a hand over your face and beating you down with those elbows. Those elbows are fucking vicious. Like that
Mhm.
that kick that he did to Stipe in his stomach sounded like a fucking shotgun to the chest. Like that shit was
Mhm.
crazy. You know what I mean? There's a video clip of the camera right behind Stipe when he get hit, and I couldn't only imagine. And it was right in the kidney area too. So you get hit in the kidney, you dropping. So imagine you get kicked in that shit the way he did. So it is amazing. I know Dana White is really smiling based on that. I do not see John Jones retiring. I think next year will be kind of like his swan song in a sense, where I think he'll do the Tom Aspinall fight. I don't even think he's running away from him. I think he's just trying to build up that fight by doing all this back and forth talking, saying he won't do this and do that. But I think eventually he'll get the Aspinall fight, and I think eventually they'll make the Alex Pereira mega fight, because we all know how much money that fight will make, especially if they both are continuously victors going into the end of next year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they made the Aspinall fight in for International Fight Week, and then make the John Jones Alex Pereira fight at the end of the year. Based off with health. Like lately, John Jones has only been fighting once a year, so hopefully he can fight 2 next year, and then he can retire with a whole lot of money in his bank account, and being the greatest of all time.
You think that Alex Pereira and John Jones will be in a spear?
Ah, man. I think John Jones and Alex Pereira have the potential to be UFC's first fight in the NFL stadium. That's what I think.
In
I
the
think that
Legion?
could be a real mega card, because the popularity of Alex Pereira extends beyond, I think, MMA. I think people really recognize who Alex Pereira is, especially how much MMA UFC has been growing, and we all know John Jones is a household name at this point as a fighter. So uh, I think that potentially, especially if they both win, let's say John Jones dominates Tom Aspinall, let's say Alex Pereira still is winning, still is dominating. That can honestly be the first one we could see at, like, I could see him maybe potentially trying to do that at Allegiant Stadium and trying to fill up 60,000, 70,000 people for that kind of fight. I can honestly see that. I think that's his next goal, honestly. Hopefully they do another one at the Sphere, because I thought that experience was amazing. Even watching it on TV, I thought that was amazing. But I think that's Dana White's next goal, to kind of do like a football style stadium.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Dude,
For
look, I
sure.
love Dana White, but he definitely has to pay these fighters more, dog. I saw Oliveira. He won what 20 fight of the nights, and his bonuses totaled over $1 million is insane. Like Dana White, look, man, I think Dana White is one of the best businessmen in sports, one of the best promoters in sports. He gives us what we want. So I'm not taking a shot at Dana. Hopefully one day we'll be able to meet this man and pay homage to him. But he does have to pay. He does have to pay these fighters a little bit more, man, for real. He does.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about the Inside the NBA and ESPN partnership.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Pull this up. There. Okay. So in 2025, well, next year, right?
Next year, yep.
Next year, Inside the NBA will be continuing on ESPN. They have agreed to a partnership. I know a lot of people are happy about that. I know they saying Shaq isn't under contract right now, but I'm sure they're working out those particulars right now. Get him back. I know he said somebody was disappointed in it, but he'll be all right. They give him a couple more zeros on his check. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
What are your thoughts? You're the NBA guy, man. What's your thoughts?
Man, this is honestly one of the better news, man, to come out of the weekend, man. I know everybody was kind of worried that this was going to be the last year to see this group together. We see the chemistry, man. This is the ultimate sports cast that you could get out of any sport, man. Charles, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq, man, it's the best. Shout out to ESPN and TNT for making this work. It's still going to be under TNT as far as like the production and all that, but it'll just be broadcasting on ESPN. ESPN's PR that they kind of announced they're going to do pregame, they're going to do halftime and postgame shows for the NBA Finals, the playoffs, Christmas Day games, and the NBA on ABC. In which they kind of start after the Super Bowl. So look, man, it's going to be really good for the NBA to still have this tandem be together. It's going to be really great for ESPN, and then it's also great that Ernie and them and all of them are still going to be able to work under the TNT production cast. How we see how much they appreciate those guys, the quality that they do it. So it's a win-win for both of these guys. I think it just adds more money to their pockets, to both sides' pockets. Everybody's kind of preaching, hopefully Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins don't take over. I totally agree that keep Malik Andrews and Stephen A. Smith far away from this cast as possible. I don't want to see it. I don't mind Kendrick Perkins. I think Perkins and Charles Barkley and all of them, I think they could kind of feed off of each other, like a Richard Jefferson and them. I think that would be kind of cool to feed off of each other. But keep Malika and Stephen A. Smith far away from these motherfuckers, please.
Stephen A's making his way over there.
I know. I just don't want to see him every day. I don't want to see him every day. I think they would get annoyed of it because Stephen A. is gonna try to make that show about him, man. So I just don't want to see that. But congratulations to all the parties involved, man. I'm really excited that they're able to continue this, and I'm glad this is not going to be the final year of this group together.
I'm just waiting for the interview when Stephen A. tells, I won one that went to my bosses and told them to bring
I know. That's going to happen, bro. I'm the one that saved the Inside the NBA. I took a pay cut so they could come here. Like, yeah, all right, man, you got it, bro. But I agree with you. I think I'm not worried about Shaq not being under contract. He'll be fine. They'll find enough money for him. He has enough money as it is. It's not like my man's going broke anytime soon. So he'll be all right. He'll be fine. He'll re-up.
Dude's damn near. If not, he's damn near a billionaire.
Yeah. At least we get them during the NBA Finals, though. That's gonna be fire. I can't wait for that. Playoffs and NBA Finals. Obviously, we don't get them in the NBA Finals. I know Charles probably gonna be a little bit annoyed because he got to work a little bit longer. But he'll be all right. They'll make sure Charles is well taken care of, man. He's not gonna have to work, on ESPN Deportes, as he said. You ever see that clip where he's talking about working long hours? They ain't trying to get worked to death like Stephen A. And he's on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes. All that. You ever seen that clip? Yo, watch that shit. That shit is fucking hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. But shout out to everybody involved.
That's crazy. Shout out to Inside the NBA, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm also curious to see who they add on the end. Obviously, we get NBA on NBC. I'm excited for that too. I'm kind of curious to see who they had on that. I know there was a rumor saying Blake Griffin was going to kind of be the player face of it. So see how that goes. We know Blake Griffin has a personality, so that won't be too bad.
Mm-hmm. We shall see. Get my man Kevin Garnett a job, man.
No, Kevin Garnett, like, you're gonna have to pay a lot of fines with Kevin Garnett, though. You got to set a little shit to the side for KG.
Yo, Lord. I just want him to say Lord.
You know who I want? I want Jeff Teague, man. Give me Jeff Teague and Kevin Garnett. That shit would be fucking fire, bro. That shit would be fire. Jeff Teague is hilarious, bro. This bag is going up. Shout out to
I don't think they like each other.
Nah, but they'll make it work for the bread, though.
Yeah.
Just give me Jeff Teague. I think just give me Jeff Teague and his podcast. His podcast is hilarious, bro. Like, hopefully one day we'll be able to get to talk to him one day, man. But man, he's killing it right now, bro. Jeff Teague's probably the funniest motherfucker in the NBA, man. As far as like with the podcast game, he killing it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's recap Week 11 NFL.
Let's do it.
So, put the music on.
As Dion says, hit me with my music. What is that? What did you say? Theme music?
Hit my theme music. You just want that to be. You want to see that in the Raiders locker room so bad, don't you?
Yo, fired out, bro. You know how many bandwagon Raider fans will be? What that shit will be locked up, bro. Come on, man. Come on, dog. You would love to see that shit.
No, I wouldn't.
I know why. Because we coming.
The Washington Commanders lose to the Philadelphia Eagles 26-18 on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
The Eagles kicker was terrible this night.
Yeah, he was.
Washington really couldn't get nothing going on offense. Defense played pretty solid, but then Saquon went off on their asses and had a couple touchdowns. And, Philly, their defensive line is actually looking a lot better. They're starting to get to the passer a lot more and causing problems. And their secondary, starting to help their secondary look a lot better too. So, got to watch out for the Eagles in the NFC this year. But Commanders, they're still learning. They're taking their lumps. I think teams are starting to kind of, show some looks to Jaden Daniels where he's going to have to adjust. But I think Washington will be fine.
Yeah, Washington will be fine, man. Obviously, they're still waiting to get Marshawn Lattimore in the set. They played a really good game. They had plenty of opportunities to win this game. Obviously, the kicker kind of helped that. The Eagles really weren't performing well until the fourth quarter offensively. Their defense is really playing really good. Obviously, it hurts my heart every time I see Jalen Carter on my screen because that's a player that the Raiders should have easily put. We had the chance to do it, but we chose to go another route. And I'm not going to get into my man's name because he's still playing like ass. But it hurts my heart, bro. It really does hurt my heart. The amount of time he gave up. But look, man, you definitely got to put some respect on Nick Sirianni's name. I know a lot of people like to clown on him a lot, especially him going back and forth with the fans and all that. But his record is pretty nice, man. A lot of teams would love to have that record. As far as like under a head coach like that. So he does have some instances where he makes questionable decisions, but overall he has a quality record. He's a winning head coach. He has his defense flying. Jalen Hurts is putting his hat into MVP conversations. I think Saquon Barkley is putting his hat in the MVP conversations. He's really been performing really well. It's been like 1A, 1B with him and Derrick Henry as far as like the best running back in the league right now. So, but the Commanders will be fine. Obviously, couple heartbreaking losses, a couple close losses, but we got to tip the cap, man. Their defense has played really well. This is the first time their offense hasn't really did anything, you know what I mean? Kind of got shut down. So they'll be fine. Commanders are still I think they'll still have a chance to make the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs as well. We got to see how it looks with Marshawn Lattimore and hope they're healthy. But, it was an overall tough battle, tough divisional battle. So both teams shouldn't really be tripping too hard.
Not at all. The Green Bay Packers traveled to the Chicago Bears. The Bears had this game, in the bag. They were up. They end up getting the ball in the last minute of the fourth quarter, got it down to field goal range. Green Bay blocked the field goal, crushing the dreams of the Chicago Bears again. Even though they only scored 19, the offense looked like they flowed better. They was getting DJ Moore involved early in the game with the screen game and end rounds and things like that. DeAndre Swift had a really good game. Keenan Allen, Roman Dunze, they were all getting the offense. Does look like it's flowing a lot better with the firing of Shane Waldron. We'll see how this looks going forward. But this was a heartbreaking loss for Chicago to get all the way down there, have a chance to win the game, and they get the field goal blocked. And Green Bay marches on to win. What are your thoughts?
Heartbreaking loss, man. We got to start holding these special teams accountable, man. These kickers are just bad. These special teams have been terrible. I know a lot of people are getting on the Bears head coach for not getting a couple more yards when they had the opportunity to do so, but at the end of the day, that's not on him. Like, they were clearing field goal range. You didn't want to take you didn't want to take any chances of maybe getting a penalty, a false start, not so much getting the fumble or anything like that. You just, you were in enough field goal range where your kicker should have been fine. Like, I get it. I've seen the statistics with Santos where if he's under 40 yards, he's pretty much 70 out of 70, 100%. When it's over 40 yards, he's about 75%. 75% it's still a good clip. Not as where you want to be, but still good enough. Look, they got to be able to block, man. That goes with him. That goes with saw the situation with the Chiefs and the Broncos last week where that line got blown the fuck up, and there was no reason why that should be happening. It's been a lot of missed kicks, a lot of missed pats. So I'm not going to beat up the head coach. I don't think anybody should as well. Look, this just makes me more worried about the Packers. This is making me, every week it goes by, I'm becoming more of a non-believer of this team. I get it, they're 7-3, but nothing about them is really scary right now. Jordan Love is an automatic anytime pick at this point. Shout out to Josh Jacobs. He's been performing pretty well. But at the end of the day, I'm starting to become I'm not really worried about the Packers being a competitive team in the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna make any noise in the playoffs the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, I agree. Jacksonville Jaguars get demolished by the Detroit Lions, 52-6. Detroit just styling on them. Okay. J-Mo doing the Marshawn Lynch pose in one of his touchdowns.
Yeah, that shit was that shit was crazy. Shout out to J-Mo, man.
But look, man, the Lions are the best team in the league right now. Yeah, and they're playing like it. Even I know last week they was coming off the 5 interceptions were golf, but they still found a way, and that's what good teams do. Even in adverse situations, they find ways to win, and they did that last week. And this week they got back on schedule, beating the hell out of teams. And I know Jacksonville sucks this year, but that's what you're supposed to do with bad teams. You treat them like bad teams. You beat them. So shout out to Detroit, man. They are the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, the Lions are the true definition that they do not play with their food, man. When they beat you down, and they don't have no regrets of it. Like, it got to the point where I was like, man, stop giving St. Brown the goddamn ball, because he was kind of hurting me in face. Because I'll go like, goddamn, man, sit these motherfuckers out, bro. Like, y'all up by like damn near 40 points. But look, man, Detroit is easily the best team in football right now. It's kind of hard. It'll be kind of hard for anybody going into Detroit right now and beat them. It's going to be tough. I don't see anybody in NFC doing it. I think the only team that really honestly could do it is, surprise me, I think it's the Rams, just because I don't think they fear them like that, and they're very comfortable playing in that. I think the Eagles would have a tough time. I think anybody from the NFC West would have pretty much a tough time, minus the Rams. I don't think anybody in that division. Obviously, with divisional play, it would be a little tough because you're just familiar, but it's gonna be tough, man. As far as like the Jags, man, if this was soccer, bro, they would be demoted to the worst division possible. This team is terrible. It's only a matter of time before they Dougie P need to go. They're not fighting anymore.
Go on and then you whistle and you play sheets. It's time to go, brother.
No one's fighting anymore at this point, and at this point, you know what I mean. They should just move to London, bro. I know they're trying to build a new stadium in Jacksonville. Just move to London, bro. You guys play way better in London. You guys do. You guys just, I don't know, man. It's this team is just kind of hopeless at this point.
Bill Belichick, come on down.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
The Minnesota Vikings beat the Tennessee Titans 23-13. Vikings had a solid game, nice bounce back game. Tennessee made it interesting in the beginning, but the Vikings pulled away in the second half. And Vikings roll on 6-2.
Yeah, this team is like one of the more weirder 2-loss teams, I would say. Like their record says they're great, but the eye test says they are not. And maybe it has a lot to do with their schedule and just, how weak their schedule has been so far. But, I mean, obviously you got to play who you play on your schedule. So, and as far as like the Titans, man, like, what do you expect, man? Like, they're not a good team.
No, they're in the Cam Ward sweepstakes.
I don't think Levis has played that bad. Obviously, he did get a lot of yards on that one TD pass, but
yeah.
It is what it is.
The Raiders lose to the Miami Dolphins 19-34. This game was kind of close in the beginning. Almost thought y'all was gonna win. Ain't gonna lie.
I had no doubt, my brother. I had no doubt, my brother.
Thought y'all was gonna win for a second.
We do enough just to make it look like it's not obvious. That's all at this point.
But then in the second half, Tua and the boys pull away. Tyreek Hill. Hey man, we gotta talk about Jonas Smith being a good tight, being one of the top tight ends, man. This dude is balling and shit.
He's balling.
He fits perfect in this offense. Jonas never did that in nobody's else's offense. He's balling this year, so
he is.
he is becoming a weapon for them. And we all know Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle. What they represent. That defense is playing actually a lot better too. So, Jalen Ramsey got a pick off of Gardner Minshew too. But look, man. I know the Dolphins, they're digging themselves out this hole. They're on the 2-game winning streak. That's a good start right there. They got to keep on building, you know what I'm saying, if they want to make it to the playoffs and try to lead back door into that 7th seed. It's going to be tough because there's a lot of, AFC teams that, are fighting for that 7th seed, but they're fighting. So we'll see.
Yeah, as a great scholar, Shedeur Sanders said, thank you, God. You know what I mean? Like, look, we do enough just to make it not look obvious at this point. Obviously, shout out to Brock Bowers, man, easily competing for Rookie of the Year. He's up there. He's a baller, man. Pretty much, run this offense through him, make it reasonable. But we're not going to win any games, and we don't need to win any games. We need to keep losing. We need to keep racking it up. We need to get our star quarterback in Shedeur and keep it going. Somebody said the December 22nd game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Raiders should be Sunday Night Football. I totally agree because that's for the number 1 pick, baby. That's going to be an interesting game, my God. That's going to be an interesting game. I agree. That should be the easy Sunday Night Football. It's going to be the most entertaining football game.
Y'all going to win that game.
No, we're not going to win that game. We're going to try so hard to lose that game. And then, honestly, let's call it spade a spade. Shedeur Sanders ain't going to Jacksonville anyway. He's not going there. So, at the end of the day, and look, the Dolphins, man, look, it just sucks that Tua had to get that injury. So, it kind of took him out of playoff contention. So, they're not going to be really in the playoff hunt. But they will put some losses on some teams that don't need to get losses. So, that'll be something to keep an eye on as far as, like, that schedule. They're going to put fear in anybody that's going to play them right now just because they're healthy at the right time. And they're kind of blowing up, as you said. Jonnu Smith, he's becoming one of the better tight ends, at least this year, and the way he's performing. Tyreek Hill is starting to look like Tyreek Hill. Waddle's starting to look like Waddle. Devon Achane has been one of the better running backs in this game. And to repeat after you again, like, this defense is playing really, really good. Jalen Ramsey's looking like Jalen Ramsey. So, it just sucks that this team had to deal with injuries early in the season, but we could see maybe them possibly next year being maybe a playoff contender again if they can stay healthy. So I just got to watch out for Miami and who they play this week because they're going to put some losses on some teams that are trying to compete for playoff spots.
Yeah, for sure. The LA Rams beat the New England Patriots 28-22. Puka Nacua had a really good game. Cooper Kupp had a really good game. Kyren Williams had a good game with Matthew Stafford. But hey, man, the story of this is Drake May, man. Get this man a number one wide receiver, and I'm telling you, this New England offense is going to take off. Get him a true the kid from what, Arizona State, I think. Arizona, McMillan.
Arizona. Yeah, Arizona. He plays for the Wildcats. Yeah.
McMillan or Luther Burden on the Patriots next year.
Yep.
Watch out for the Patriots.
Maybe even possibly signing T. Higgins, man. They have the opportunity to do that too. So
yeah, I'm telling you, watch out for the Patriots next year, man. Because if Drake May can build on this, they're gonna be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely,
really good.
Absolutely. I think Drake May will be a really good quarterback. It's just mainly with him, it's more so health. He had health problems at UNC. Obviously, he got a little banged up so far earlier this year, but we all know that defense is going to be flying. That defense is going to be really good. They just need weapons at this particular point with the Patriots. So if you're a Patriots fan, I get it. You're losing these games, but you should be very positive as far as like the future outlook of this team. You should be excited with Drake May. As far as the Rams, look, man, we all know what the Rams are capable of if they're healthy. It's just, it got a little scary there with Nakua when he caught that touchdown. He was in there in the end zone, kind of hurt. So, but it was good to see him bounce back. This defensive line, this young defensive line is really good as well. So they're competing for an NFC West division that looks like it's wide open between all those teams. Like currently, right now, San Francisco is the fourth place team in this division. So this division is going to get weird. I think Arizona is probably playing the best out of all four teams so far. But it's going to get interesting in that division. It could go either way, and the Rams are going to be part of that.
Yeah, for sure. The Cleveland Browns lose to the New Orleans Saints 35-14. Mm-hmm. Taysom Hill breaks a tight end record for most rushing yards by a tight end for 138 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. I just got a question. What the hell is getting into Marquez Valdez-Scantling since he's joined the Saints?
I'm trying to tell you, brother, you hated on Marquez for no reason, bro. He should still be on your team. Y'all might look better with Marquez. Y'all might look better with Marquez at this point.
He dropped it. He would have dropped every pass.
He ain't dropping him right now. You know what I'm saying? He looking good.
Him and Derek Carr are match made in heaven. Two losers. But
that's crazy.
But hey, shout out to the New Orleans Saints. They are, they're looking a lot better since they fired Dennis Allen. So
they're looking like the team that fires their coach and the interim coach has a real strong chance of getting a head coaching job just based on their performance. Obviously, Taysom Hill, he does this every couple games where he just does some crazy shit and he'll give you 40 plus fantasy points. He'll get like 2-3 TDs. He'll throw a pass or whatever. But you can kind of tell with Taysom Hill when he's healthy in this offense, they look like a completely different offense. It helps Alvin Kamara, helps this whole team. As far as the Browns go, shout out to Jerry Jeudy. He had a really good game, 6 receptions for 142 yards, 1 TD. I love Jameis, but there'd be some throws that he does that just seems pretty idiotic, man. I was hoping they would get this win just to kind of help out our draft stock at this point. Obviously the Browns are still ahead of us right now, so hopefully they can pull out a win sooner or later. But it is what it is with both these teams.
Yeah, for sure. The Indianapolis Colts beat the Jets 28-27. Anthony Richardson had a really good game this game. Had a couple of good, nice throws, ran some touchdowns in. Jets are just misery. They are a depression over there. Aaron Rodgers is a problem, and it shows every week. So it is what it is.
Yeah, man, I think this is the Anthony Richardson we all expected to see at the beginning of the year. Man, he looked confident throwing the ball. His accuracy looked a lot better. His confidence looked a whole lot better. He was actually running with a purpose. And he was able to pull out the win. The Colts, this is all they're asking for with Anthony Richardson. If he continues to do this team should be really good. You know what I mean? So, and they're going to get some wins that, they could be in a position like what the Miami Dolphins are doing right now, where they get some wins that, a lot of these teams are trying to, compete for the playoffs, and maybe they might be able to even sneak in and have a chance to fight for a playoff spot, with Miami and all that. So we gotta see what's up, but as far as the Jets, they gotta answer this question. Like, do they really want Aaron Rodgers to come back? You know what I mean? I think that's a real question they need to start asking themselves, because right now Zach Wilson's winning percentage is better than fucking Aaron Rodgers at this point. So you got rid of your GOAT for a bump? That's crazy. That is crazy. Zach Wilson play better than Aaron Rodgers is insane, because at this particular time, like, there is a story out there that Devontae Adams only agreed to go to the Jets because he assumed Aaron Rodgers is going to be there past this year. So if he's not there to pass this year, what does that mean for Devontae Adams? Where is he going to go? So then now be another wide receiver in the market, where you got to kind of look at. Maybe he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe he goes somewhere else, you know what I mean, and buffs that up. So that could be interesting. I'll look at that too. I just think the Jets need to get away from the Aaron Rodgers experience. It's just not working. But that's the question they need to answer. And now we'll find out at the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. The Ravens lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers 18-16. The name of this game is Justin Tucker is cooked food. It is over. He is not the same kicker that he used to be. This might be his last year with the Ravens, because if he makes those 2 kicks, the Ravens win this game. Regardless of what happened in the game, regardless of how bad Lamar Jackson looked and these weapons look, and Derrick Henry fumbling the football and all that stuff, if Justin Tucker makes those 2 kicks, the Ravens win this game. So, and Justin Fields, know where you at when you're sliding, man. You almost messed that up.
He didn't want to fuck up the game, but shout out to Justin. Look, man, this is my number one frustration with the Baltimore Ravens. This is why you get frustrated with this team, because it's just the inconsistencies with these big games, man. One big game, they look like they're world beaters, and then when it gets to games like the Steelers and the Chiefs, they look like they're incompetent. You know what I mean? Lamar Jackson doesn't feel comfortable in the pocket. People can't hold on to the ball. Mass penalties that cause them to lose momentum. Like, you know what I mean? And this is the best the defenses look. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the inconsistencies with this football team that frustrates you. You see the capabilities that this team can be, but they just can't get everything to click. If you get this team to click, if this defense played like this, and you could get the offense to play what they did a couple weeks ago, this is one of the most unstoppable teams in the league. Maybe even more so than the Detroit Lions. But for some reason, they just can't get it together. Like, this has been one of their biggest demons, is trying to compete against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that doesn't really steal confidence in my heart for them going into the playoffs. It's just a see it to believe it kind of thing with them. As far as the Steelers, though, look, man, tough, gritty win, man. They're 8-2. This defense is probably the best in the league currently. TJ Watt easily looking like the defensive player of the year right now with his dominance. George Pickens out there looking like he's really happy playing with Russell Wilson. And I think that's all kind of what you're doing. Russell Wilson had an idiotic interception in the end zone that was kind of questionable. You don't really see that too much with Russell, but they were able to not be hurt by it too much. So, look, man, Mike Tomlin, he's competing for Coach of the Year. He obviously, I think he might be in the lead right now with Campbell. So, it's just very impressive with what the Steelers are doing right now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The Broncos put the beats on the Falcons 38-6. Bo Nix balled out. My man was what he at? He was 28 of 33, 307 yards and 4 TDs. Mm-hmm. My man is balling out. You know what? I got to put respect on Bo Nix. I know we talk shit. In the beginning of the season, we say he was probably the worst quarterback in this draft in the first round. Maybe JJ McCarthy's a little bit under him, but he looks like the rookie. He looks like potential rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I got to put some respect on Sean Payton, man. He's getting the best out of Bo Nix, man. He's got this team looking like a playoff team, and a scary playoff team because defense travels, and nobody wants to face them in the wild card. Nobody.
No, not at all. Javonte Williams looked like the old Javonte Williams. Courtland Sutton has been playing really well. So look, man, this is why I stand on my statement about Cam Ward in the draft. Look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix had a great year last year playing with Oregon, and you know what penalized him? how old he was, and that's the main reason why he dropped. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Ward did the same thing in the NFL next year, having numbers like this. Depending on, obviously, it also depends on what coaches coaching him. You know what I mean? But look, man, I know we talked a lot of shit about Sean Payton and some on Bo Nix, not so more of how terrible he is, but just kind of the age thing and how much growth could you potentially see. But Bo Nix is balling, man. He's definitely competing with Jaden Daniels with the Rookie of the Year. Sean Payton has his team looking like a really good, competent team. So I gotta tip my cap out to Sean Payton. I know we talk shit about him a lot. With the Falcons, though, Kirk Cousins just looks old, man. I don't know if Achilles, if he has enough confidence in his legs. Like, I think with Kirk Cousins, like, what made him so great was his ability to move out the pocket and throw on the run. And for some reason, obviously after that Achilles injury, I just don't think he has confidence in that in his legs right now. I don't know if he ever will. I don't know if he'll get that back. But if they lose this game, I think it might be
me. Is this on?
Yeah, go.
I don't mean to interrupt you, brother, but I think it's time to have a conversation.
Michael Penix time.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, it might be time for Michael Penix because they're not gonna do that because they still technically got the lead in the division in the South.
They do.
The Tampa Bay. The only reason why Tampa Bay is not in the lead is due to injuries. I'm gonna say that they're the better.
They get Mike Evans back. Once they get Mike Evans back, that offense is gonna look a lot better.
It's gonna look a lot better. And they lost a lot of really close games to really great teams that they could have easily won. They played hard against the Kansas City Chiefs. They played hard against a couple other teams. You know what I mean? So the Eagles and all that. So like, look, man, it's just this team is. We all know Tampa Bay is the best team, but if they continuously lose and Tampa Bay ends up getting the lead, I think it's Michael Penix time. You got to see what you got because you literally took Michael Penix with one of your top draft picks, so it might be time. You know what I mean? Michael Penix, again, he's an older quarterback who's been established in college for a long time. I think he should be comfortable, going in. You have the weapons, so might be time to see what they can do.
The Seattle Seahawks beat the 49ers 20-17. Geno Smith, he had a solid game, threw for 221 yards, but he had the game-winning run-in touchdown at the end of the game. I don't know, man. 49ers just have, I know injuries have killed this team all season, and it's kind of hindered them, but it's more to it just injuries, man. This team hasn't really just looked right most of the season, so I don't know. Hopefully they can get it right, but with this division looking way more competitive, with Arizona looking really good, Rams, they're kind of up and down, but when they look good, they look good. Seattle, they're kind of the up and down team too. You never know what you're gonna get with Seattle because of Geno, but San Francisco's starting to look like that up and down too. And like I said, I know injuries have riddled them, but they still got enough talent on this team that they should be able to compete and be in the hunt, for playoff spot and winning this division. So I don't know what's going on with San Francisco, but they got to get it together.
I just think right now with the San Francisco 49ers, they're looking at their mortality right now, right before their eyes with this roster. You went to what? 3 NFC Championship games, 2 Super Bowls, and you came out with 0 rings. It's really deflating, especially coming off last year's, which I think they were clearly the better team last year. But Patrick Mahomes stole the game away. So, look, man, they got a lot of decisions going into the offseason. Like, you got Debo, you re-signed Brandon Ayuk, but now he's going to be coming off a knee injury. Christian McCaffrey's getting older. Like, I know he put up 19 carries for 79 yards, 4 receptions for 27 yards, but watching him on the TV, he just looks a little slower. Maybe more so that, he's still, trying to get his, conditioning up. I think he'll end up being fine, but look, he's going to get a year older. Trent Williams is getting a year older. This team is getting older. Who knows if Greenlaw is going to come back this year with his Achilles? It was in February where he got hurt, so who knows if he's even going to be able to play this year. Prayers out to Various Ward and his situation going on.
Most definitely.
of his daughter passing away, and you don't know where he's going to be at mentally. You don't know how long he's going to be out. So we don't know how much effect that's going to be on him playing these games whenever he decides to come back, and hopefully he takes his time, and whenever he decides to, God bless him and his family, because I can only imagine what he's going through currently at this time. But questions got to be asked with Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean? Like, how much? I'm not saying he's losing the locker room, but next year is going to be really interesting for me, because we're all gonna chalk it up as like, this team hit a wall. They're gonna have to figure out the direction of this team going further. You're gonna have to figure out if you want to pay Brock Purdy and all that type of stuff. Like, there's questions. So I think there's gonna be a lot of pressure on. I'm not saying his job is in question currently right now, but going into next year, him and John Lynch, they're gonna have to make some real interesting calls going into next year that could potentially put them in the hot seat, man, with this team, because you kind of had the opportunity to turn this team into a legit championship, winning team, but for some reason they never were able to get over the hump, and he has that over his head ever since the Atlanta Falcons lost, them losing that 27-3 lead. So it's definitely gonna be interesting going in offseason for the 49ers, but I don't see them. I'm really starting to believe they're not going to make the playoffs this year. I think it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's really too hard.
Yeah, starting to look that way for sure. And then the game of the week, the Buffalo Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs 30-21. Josh Allen had the game-winning run in the 4th and 2nd. This was what everything that these games are always back and forth, highly contested, and then it always comes down to one or two plays that decide this game. And it's no different in this one. I just thought that the pass rush, like once again, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but my Chiefs pass rush just couldn't get Josh Allen on the ground. He was extending plays with his legs like he always does. Spags got out coached. Joe Brady just had an answer for everything that Spags. Spags likes to blitz, and he had an answer for it every time. He had an answer for those blitzes, and it was surprising that Spags didn't do it. He didn't really have a spy out there for Josh Allen, which you facing Josh Allen, you got to contain him. You know what I'm saying? I know that's easier said than done, because you can argue right now he's the best quarterback playing right now. You can argue that right now, him and Lamar Jackson. Jared Goff, yeah. But you got to have you got to try to contain him as best as you can. You know what I'm saying? Especially, with our corner situation, to pass Trent McDuffie is, it's a crapshoot. Najee Johnson was getting smoked yesterday. Yeah. He gave up 120 some yards in the air yesterday. They just targeted him with Amari Cooper in the first half, and then Khalil Shakir was getting some stuff off of him, and then our linebackers was taking bad angles. Drew Tranquil has not been particularly good this season like he was last year. I don't know if he, shout out to the homie D-Man, we was talking about it, and he said, I don't know if he put on some weight so we can be better against the run, but that hurt him, coverage-wise, because he hasn't really been good in that aspect. And but shout out to Buffalo, man. They just took it. They did what you're supposed to do when you play the Chiefs. Don't play scared. Do not play scared. And I admit, a lot of teams, they play to not lose. They don't play to win. They play to not lose, especially in the crucial situations. Most teams would have kicked the field goal and just our defense, let's hope we can stop Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? And Buffalo was like, nah, it's 4th and 2. We going for it. Give me the ball. And Josh Allen went and took it, and he won the game for them. And that's, if he gets the MVP, they're gonna play that clip. 100%. That's the clip they're gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Of him running that ball into the end zone. So shout out to Buffalo. Y'all wanted it more. Y'all wanted time of possession more. I didn't like that Andy Reid got away from the run. I didn't like that in the second half you didn't try to get Xavier Worthy, in the game. You could clearly see it was working in the first half. Whatever you were doing. He was
open on them deep routes. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He was cooking it, and even some of the crossing routes, the touchdown he got, like the one bad play he had, and I know it was a big play, but you go back to it. Why not?
Yeah.
It was open, you know what I'm saying, a few times. So, um, and just not trying, Andy Reid is too much of a genius not to figure out ways to get the ball to Travis Kelce or D Hop. So I get that they was playing man to man, but that man can scheme some stuff up to get those guys open. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, Buffalo won this game, and shout out to them. Shout out to Josh Allen, man. He is right now. He is my MVP right now.
Yeah, no, you got to definitely give him the MVP. I think with the Kansas City Chiefs, I'll start with the Chiefs. Like, look, with this Chiefs team, I've been said it. I know they were 9-0, but I think they're really unimpressive 9-0. I think this offense has issues. I think this is probably the first game you really start seeing the effect of not having Rasheed Rice out there. Like, I get it, you got D Hop, but D Hop isn't Rasheed Rice. D Hop is a little older. Travis Kelce is a little older. People expect that those two players are still. They go by the name. They don't go by the reality of who they are currently right now. Like, I get it. You still see flashes with Travis Kelce and D Hop every now and then, but the consistency is just not there. It's a lot harder for them to get open. Like, it's a problem. Like, Travis Kelce 1-on-1, that was automatic. Like, no one's guarding Travis Kelce. The way Brock Bowers is looking right now is the way Travis Kelce was. That's a spitting image of what Travis Kelce was. And you're starting to see that. Look, you expect it. Travis Kelce's getting a little older, man. You playing all these games consistently every year, going into the Super Bowl. You're eventually going to get tired. Like, this offense is not helping this defensive out. This defense is getting worn out. I think you're starting to see that because yesterday they weren't flying like they were used to. You know what I mean? Like, the running game is the running game. They're always going to be strong there as long as Chris Jones is there in the middle. But, guarding the middle, guarding the outside, like Trent McDuffie. I know I talk shit about Trent McDuffie, but he played really good yesterday. But those other cornerbacks that were getting, they were getting cooked. So you can't
Najee was getting cooked.
You can't put
Najee was getting cooked.
You can't look. As I said before, like, I know I talk shit about Trent McDuffie. I've never said he was not a good cornerback. I just don't think he's as unstoppable as some people have been kind of proclaiming to be. But you can't put you don't have 4 Trent McDuffies out there. You don't have a Legarian to partner up with a Trent McDuffie. So it's kind of harder to guard, especially when you have teams with multiple receivers that can get open. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills, they didn't have Keon Coleman out there. Amari Cooper was out there balling. Khalil Shakir was out there balling. They still have Keon Coleman, who did not play. I think Dalton Kincaid did not play. So, they're only going to get stronger out there. So I think that bodes well for them. I think the Buffalo Bills did show the blueprint that you can't be scared to face this team. You got to play your game, and you got to be confident. You have Josh Allen. There's no reason why you shouldn't believe Josh Allen can't go one-on-one with goddamn Patrick Mahomes. He's just as great as Patrick Mahomes is. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes does have the rings, but when you look at the numbers, he's just as good. Lamar Jackson, same way. Hopefully the Ravens see that, and they see, like, look, we got to play our game. We got to be who we are for us and not have mental fuck-ups, because that's the thing with Kansas City Chiefs teams. Even though they did have a lot of penalties this week compared to most weeks, obviously time of possession wasn't in their favor. I think the Buffalo Bills had almost like 10 minutes more of time of possession. That's kind of what you want. You don't want Mahomes to have, like, I know the offense hasn't been performing really well, but if you keep giving him reps and reps and reps, eventually Patrick Mahomes will start, figuring out shit. It's gonna then you have your problems. But the Buffalo Bills, they played a 10 out of 10 game. This is what you need to do. So it's the blueprint. I agree with you. Josh Allen is definitely ahead of Lamar Jackson, especially after that performance with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I low-key think Lamar Jackson might be down to 3, especially with the way Jared Goff's been performing at this particular time. So I wouldn't be surprised at that as well. So shout out to the Buffalo Bills. Shout out to the homie Nick, man. He a big Bills Mafia fan. Big win. But again, with the Bills, can't get too happy with this win. You beat the Chiefs before.
We've seen this story before where they beat the Chiefs, and then the next week they get smoked.
And then it starts going downhill, and they're never the same again. And they're limping into the playoffs. So, take this win. I know everybody is excited. You know what I mean? But don't treat this as your Super Bowl. Treat this as like if you beat the Jets. You know what I mean? It's just another week. Like, you still got a long road to go. We still got another month and a half before we start getting into the playoffs. So that's one thing we got to look out with the Buffalo Bills. But congratulations to them. They were the better team this week. So
yeah, for sure. All right, man. Who's your best team and best player of the week?
Oh, you didn't want to talk about the Chargers and Bengals?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We have to
You
talk
didn't want
about
to talk about your Bengals, dog? Come on, man. Come on, dog. I figured you would be
they
happy
my.
to talk about this game.
I'm not happy because I bet on them yesterday and they messed me over, man. Goddamn Adam Hey, what's his name? McPherson. Make the goddamn kick, man.
yeah, he
You
missed that
cost
shit.
me some money, man.
Kickers are out here fucking up. Look.
Man. That was already
NFL.
looking grim in the beginning. I was like, oh, they might get smoked. And then they started waking up a little bit. The offense woke up and they got back in the game. I'm like, all right, they gonna win. They gonna win. Then McPherson happened. I'm like, you're just giving Herbert chance after chance. He's gonna convert eventually. But shout out to Larry McConkey. He had a really good game. I think he had 7 catches, 123 yards or something like that. Quentin Johnson had a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins is a beast, man. He might be comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
He might be comeback player of the year. And that defense is actually playing really well too, even though they gave up 27 in the second half. But they're playing better. You know what I'm saying? They had some rookies out there. They had some 5th round rookies trying to guard T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And but that pass rush at the end was getting to Joe Burrows at the end, and it affected some of his throws because he had T. Higgins wide open on one thing. He just gets it to him, the game is over. But unfortunately, he couldn't get it to him. And there are 4-7 now. It's not looking too good. They don't think they're not going to make the playoffs this year. I'm sorry to tell you this, Cincinnati fans. It's over.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. They're not getting to the. I don't want to hear national media talking about, the Bengals, if they make the play, they're not making the playoffs. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. I think they still gotta play the Steelers one more time. If they haven't played them already. And I think they play Cleveland one more time. And Cleveland gives them problems, even regardless of how bad Cleveland is playing. They always give them problems. So it's not looking good for Cincinnati. I think they're gonna blow that thing up. I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Taylor loses his job and they get another head coach. I could see maybe a Ben Johnson or somebody like that, possibly taking his job, especially if you got Joe Burrows. If you're Ben Johnson, you'll consider it.
Yeah, I'll start with the Chargers. We got to start taking them real serious. Chargers, we got to start taking this team really serious, man. They ain't even have Khalil.
Who does it better than us? Nobody.
Hey, man, look, Harbaugh, man. This is the main reason why I was a little disturbed that the Raiders not going so hard for Harbaugh. You know what I mean? Like I said it before. Like I rooted for AP, but let's call it spade a spade. Jim Harbaugh was the more established head coach that I know would get the Raiders in the right direction. You know what I mean? So, that's another story for another day. But at the end of the day, man, Chargers are really good. Herbert's playing really good. I could see him maybe potentially getting an MVP conversations if he continues to play this way. That McConkey, he's turning into another potential rookie of the year with his 6 receptions, 123 yards. Shout out to Dobbins, man, coming off those. When you look at his track history with all those injuries, man, you could do nothing but be happy for him as a player and for him being able to be performing like this, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to this defense. They're not a laughing stock no more. You got to take them serious, man. They're not going to beat themselves. You got to beat them. So I think that was
almost did.
Yeah, they almost did. But they games like if this was under Brandon Staley, they lose this game. Clearly, they lose this game. But under Harbaugh, they're going to win more so than they lose. And as far as like the Bengals, man, I don't think firing Zach Taylor is the problem. They need to find somebody that can coach this defense up. You could tell the way, especially in that first half, that this defense pouting and yelling at each other and all that. You just saw just
I don't think Lou Ferrigno's the problem. I just think that Lou Ferrigno lost too many people. If you lose Jesse Bates and you lose what's the big dude they had, DJ, whatever his name was. You keep losing top tier players in the secondary and on the defensive line. I don't care how good your defensive coordinator. If you got the Bulls to run your system, you're gonna get what you got yesterday.
Well, then if we go by that, then if we go by that, then Zach Taylor isn't the problem. The defensive coordinator is the problem. It's the GM and the owner. That's the problem because you don't want to pay this money. And then now you set yourself up to cost yourself even more money because you decide not to pay Jamar Chase. So now he's going to be worth even way more than what he's doing, especially the way he's performing right now. He's easily going to be paid he's easily going to be the most paid wide receiver. He's going to have the biggest contract. He's going to have more than Justin Jefferson at this point.
Yeah.
And now you're going to lose T. Higgins, so that's another weapon you're going to lose. Chase Brown, I don't know his contract situation, but he's playing really well. You got to figure that out. And then you still got to shore the offensive line. You still got to add pieces to that defense. Then you got to figure out who you're replacing T. Higgins with. So it's not really looking good for them in this situation. So I don't think firing Zach Taylor is the answer. I know I said something about the defensive coordinator, but they got to fix that defense. The way I only said that because
I hear you. No, I hear you because of the communication and how they're acting. Yeah,
how they're acting, they're just looking like they're defeated. You know what I mean? You could tell. Like, I know Jamar Chase is talking about ask Zach Taylor about offensive play calling, but offensive play calling ain't the problem. Y'all been performing the best. Y'all offense is literally mirroring what the Detroit Lions are doing right now. Currently, the way y'all playing, like Joe Burrow, I know I talk about shit. Like he needs to win these games the way he's been performing in a lot of these games, and yeah, he does look really good. But Joe Burrow isn't the problem. Jamar Chase isn't the problem. The play calling isn't the problem. Hell, this offensive line hasn't really been the problem. Like I know Joe Burrow's getting beat up. Like they still need to fix the O-line. But they still they're still putting up these numbers even with the offensive line that they do got. The offense is not the problem. This defense is looking putrid. They look like they're defeated. This team looks defeated. They look like they have no confidence in the defense at all. The offensive players don't have confidence in this defense, and the defensive players who are playing in the system don't have confidence. I think that says a lot. So the defensive coordinator is either going to have to find something to remotivate this team, or they're going to have to figure it out. You know what I mean? They might have to bring,
Yeah, it might be, and that's why I say maybe Zach Taylor's, even though his scheme may be working, but maybe as a hut, because at the end of the day, you are the head coach, so you have to touch, you affect everybody. It's not just the offense, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, your system may be working on offense, so you're scoring all these points, but you still got to motivate the men. You still got to get them to play for you, and there should be no reason why your defensive players is looking like that. That's a result of the head coach. He's the top guy. That's who they're gonna blame. It's not gonna be. It's just like what Denzel said. And remember the Titans. I've never seen a coordinator get put in the headlines for losing the game. It's the head coach. So, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe a Vrabel or a Brian Flores being the head coach over there to bring some order over there, and you give Flores a very good quarterback, some consider top 5, and maybe you got some over there. He can fix that defense. Meanwhile, you get whatever coordinator he can bring in, and maybe Cincinnati's a bigger threat. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have a more of a authoritative figure, because when you no disrespect to Zach Taylor, he's a younger guy, so those younger guys, they can relate more to the locker room, but they don't have that like a Mike Tomlin type aura. That's what I get from Flores. Flores has that Mike Tomlin type aura, so maybe you get somebody like him, or even a Vrabel, somebody like that. I don't know.
Yeah, on the Vrabel front, like, I don't know if it would fit, because we all know Joe Burrow likes to run them five out sets, man, where he got like 5 receivers. That's when he plays his best. I don't think Jamar Chase would like that system under Mike Vrabel, because he's not going to get all the numbers, man. They're going to be running the ball, play situational football, run the ball, and play off a play action pass. So I just don't know if that works. But again, like, I'm not mad at what you're saying with Zach Taylor. I just don't think that's the answer. I think that would be something that Bengals owner I could see him doing some dumb shit like that. I just think there's some things they need to figure out. Like I said, like they got some money. They need to figure out how they're going to disperse it. Joe Burrow's contract is only going to get more expensive and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I think they're one of the teams to go along with the 49ers that their offseason is going to be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Who's your best team and who's your best player?
So my best team, I had to go with the Detroit Lions, man. They're just humming all across the board with that team. I get it. They played the Jags, but look, man, they're not playing with their food. I tried to pick the best player, but man, I just could not deny this unit. I had to go with the Buffalo Bills offensive line, man. to not get a sack. It was hard. There were players I could pick, but I think that offensive line played the best as far as anything that I saw this week, especially not allowing no sacks and stuff like that. Man, they played really well, Dawkins and all them. So I had to give it to the Bills offensive line.
Yeah, I got to give it to the. I'm gonna give it to the Detroit Lions' best team, but best player. I got to give it to Josh Allen. He balled out. Like I said, he got the win over my Chiefs, and I got to give him love. So,
for sure.
Who is your worst player and worst team this week?
Worst player was Kirk Cousins, and worst team Atlanta Falcons. I think that was the easy combo for me this week. I had to go with them.
Worst player, Mac Jones. Worst team, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that either.
That game was over in the first quarter.
Yeah, man. I wonder
what bad.
I'm curious to know what that locker room is talking like right now, man. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, them players. I'm sure they're like, bro, we cannot wait till this fucking season's over with, bro. Like,
they in Florida. Maybe they chilling.
Yeah, but as Barkley and them says, they're 1, 2, 3 Cancun. That's what they doing right now for sure.
Mm-hmm. They know this season is a wash. It is over. So, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm like, I'm out for the season, bro. Don't even call me back.
Hey, as a Jags fan, it's probably the cheapest time to go to a game, but because them tickets about to be going for like $1, bro, at this point.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, we signed Tyquan Thornton. It's not a bad pickup. And that does it for our NFL wrap up, man.
Sure.
Got a doozer tonight. Yeah, right.
Yeah, nah.
Home battle of Texas. What's your thoughts on Beyonce performing in the halftime show on Christmas?
Oh man, shit, man, it should be cool, man. What's that? The Ravens Texans game.
Mm-hmm.
That Christmas Day slate is gonna be really nice, man. It's gonna be really fun. Pittsburgh versus the Chiefs.
I'm be at work watching my Chiefs.
I'm calling out. I'm not working Christmas Day. That shit can kick rock. I'm doing it. But look, man. Shout out to Beyonce. We know she's gonna put on a great performance, especially in her hometown city. So I'm sure everybody's excited. Hopefully, Netflix gets their buffering shit in order, so we don't have to go through what some people had to go through, especially with the Tyson Paul fight. So hopefully they'll be able to fix that. They got enough money too. I'm surprised they did have buffering issues for the amount of people that already own Netflix. So. Hopefully they fix that, but should be a good time, man. On Christmas Day, what's Christmas Day, like Tuesday or something? Wednesday.
On Wednesday, because that's my Monday at work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna be there, brother. Sorry. No, sir.
Whatever, man. All right, man. Guess what, man? We made our first sale for Magnus Sports Drink, man.
You ain't gonna do hell no's and flowers and stuff?
Oh yeah, that's right. I'll be forgetting.
Yo, man, come on, man. You about to get the hell nah of the day, bro. Come on, man. Even though shout out to Magnus.
I'm cooked right now. What's your flowers of the week, man?
Oh, so my flowers of the week, man, they go to, let me see, what did I write down? Oh, flowers of the week, man, shit, it was the only thing I could do. The ring girls from the Tyson and Paul fight, man. God bless you all, man. God damn.
Maxie Williams.
Y'all have not seen the ring girls from the Tyson Paul fight. You missed out. Just look them up, man. That was one of the best starting five I've seen in a long time, man. So shout out to them. Shout out to Jake Paul, man, for hiring those young women. So yes, sir. Those were my flowers.
This flower, I wanted to get this. I forgot. It totally slipped my mind, and I know y'all think, oh, you because he's a Chief. No, if he was a Raider, I would give him his flowers. But I saw his interview on the Pivot. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I know he's been dealing with PTSD from the situation that happened at LSU. He had to, self-defense. His home. They went to go buy some play. I think they were selling a PlayStation to somebody, and they ended up pulling a gun on his teammate. He had to pull his gun out. He's a registered carrier. He had to pull his gun out and shoot the guy and kill him. and ended up giving him PTSD. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of reemerged himself after the situation happened at the parade last year when he had to actually help people, inside to get inside the building or whatever from the shooting at the parade. And so he was dealing with that. And finally, Andy Reid told him, "You got to get some help, man." And
Hmm.
they finally he got the help that he's been needing, and he's feeling a lot better. I know if you ever get a chance, the Pivot, they do good. If you're familiar with the Pivot podcast, they always do good interviews, and that interview was one of them, man. His time with a lot of Chiefs fans have their thoughts of Clyde and his thoughts with Kansas City. But if you watch this, you'll see it kind of changes how you feel, about his time. He was dealing with a lot on his mind. So shout
Hmm.
out to Clyde that was there for getting the help, and you deserve your flowers, sir.
Yeah, prayers up to him, man. Hopefully he gets the help that he needs.
Yeah. All right, man. Who gets your hell no?
So my hell now goes to Ryan Walters, the superintendent for Oklahoma State. So people been getting more aware of Ryan Walters. He kind of mandated that schools show a prayer video to students and parents in the schools. And, there's a petition going around. For, about 14,000 people have signed it for him to be impeached as the superintendent of these schools. So he gets my hell nah for just kind of implementing some dumb shit, man. We all know that the separating church from state. I think that should be only a parent's doing, whether they decide for prayer and religious views. I think that should all be individualized. That shouldn't be anything anywhere close to public schools and stuff like that, man. So either send your kid to a private school or some where they do that, or don't do it at all. So he gets my hell no of the week.
For sure. My hell no goes to you fans out there who thought that Mike Tyson was going to do something. Y'all are out here really surprised that the 60-year-old looks 60 in the ring. Like, genuinely, people are surprised. I've listened to y'all talk, and it lets me know that you don't watch boxing like that. And that's
Yeah,
fine. You're a casual. There's nothing wrong with that. But
yeah,
damn, you're genuinely surprised that the 60-year-old man get in the ring and look sick. I get it. It's Mike Tyson. He has cachet. He has a name. He's known for knocking people out. But that was like years ago.
yeah. Hmm.
And y'all are genuinely surprised that the 60-year-old man looks 60 against a 27-year-old man.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Jake Paul, when he got in the ring with him, he felt bad. Like, what the hell am I doing?
Hmm.
I'm really in the ring with a 60-year-old man. I know it's Mike Tyson across from me, but that ain't Mike. That's not Iron Mike Tyson. That's Grandpa Tyson.
Yeah,
That's why I told you, if this was 10 years ago, I might have been perking my interest. 48-year-old Tyson might still got a little something he could deliver. But damn near 60-year-old. So y'all disappointed about how the fight went. Y'all get hell no all the week because you shouldn't have been surprised.
yeah. Especially those. I think Bet MGM announced they had the biggest gate as far as like bets coming from that fight. I think that's kind of crazy. Though I think the only good thing about this is I think shout out to Amanda Serrano in that fight. That fight
Yeah.
was really, that was the best fight in the card. Shout out to those two ladies out there. I think Amanda Serrano did get screwed though. I think she did win that fight. Though I know I'm not a big fan of Jake Paul, but I will say this, shout out to him for at least putting the light on these ladies and this sport.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think boxing should take a lot from this. I think they should. I think boxing should go this route of doing stuff like on Netflix or Hulu. You could get more eyes on it for sure, especially if you do the promotions right. I think obviously with Mike Tyson, his name, Jake Paul, and his name, obviously they did get the 60 million viewers. One of the biggest all time viewership for any kind of fight. But I think it's something that I think, especially fight boxing, needs to take a look at. because me and you have both said it, a lot of these fights don't really need to be taking place over pay-per-view airways. A lot of people don't want to pay $80, $70 for this stuff, man. Imagine if you had like like if they did a Canelo fight on the Netflix or something like that, or if they did a Gervonta Davis fight on the Netflix, or a Terrence Crawford fight on the Netflix, and how many eyes they could get on stuff like that. It's just something to look forward to. I think that's the only good outcome that could come out of this. But beside that, everything was a joke. It was kind of depressing to watch Mike Tyson in that ring. Me and my homie Antonio, when we were watching that work, when we both saw the knee brace, we were like, yeah, nah. Yeah, nah.
It's over.
It's over, man.
Mike is. I didn't even watch this main event because I knew what it was when it was announced. I'm like, this.
Me too. I had to watch it because it was at work, but I had to stop after the fourth round. Oh, after the third, fourth round, I was like, I couldn't do it no more. It just looks so bad, especially that one time where I think Jake Paul threw like 3 jabs and Tyson looked like he was about to just heel over. I was like, bro, get him out, bro. Just stop.
I saw the clip when he was in the middle and he's in his corner. He's like dying over there.
Breathing, you know what I'm saying? So, and then he kind of announced it like after the fight where he almost died, kind of like how the episode happened, why the fight got postponed. But, I am happy for him as far as like that 20 million. Congrats to him. Hopefully he can just
for sure
retire and be peaceful. And then also for Mike Tyson, I got to give him a hell no for the ass shot, bro. That shit was insane, bro. Come on. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy, bro. Come on, Mike.
You know what? That didn't even surprise me. That's Mike. That's Mike being Mike.
I know, man. But
nobody Mike Tyson being Mike Tyson.
Being like a motherfucker. God damn. That shit looked like a 60 minutes. That shit was crazy. Bro, come on, bro. Come on, man. Shout out to Mike, though, man. Shout out to Mike, bro.
That's funny to me. They did that on purpose. They didn't have to zoom because they saw it. The cameraman saw it. He didn't have to zoom out.
He low-key kind of, bro, he was trying to zoom in a little bit, but then he caught himself, bro. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
The cameraman gives a hell no. That's what gives a hell no. The cameraman. Because he could as soon as he was done with his interview, they could have cut.
They could have cut it. Nah, they let that shit go on for 5 seconds while you walk. I was like, oh my God, bro. Come on, dog. But shout out to Mike, man. Shout out to Mike. Yeah. And low-key, shout out to Jake Paul, man. Shout out to them.
But you fans out there, y'all get the hell no for being surprised that a 60-year-old looks 60 in the damn ring. Be better, people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
All right, man. Now, you know what Mike needs? Maybe he would have won the fight.
No, we always could use a magnet, man. Magnet, yo. As he said, we finally got our first sale, so appreciate anybody who did cop the magnet to get us our first.
I think his name was James. Shout out to James. I ain't gonna put your whole name out there, but shout out to James, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to James. I don't know. Is that my dad?
My dad? James. Huh?
Was that my dad? I don't think he would buy it, but he don't need that shit. But anyways, man, shout out to James.
Unless you got a different last name than your daddy.
Oh yeah, no. Shout out to James though, man. Appreciate you, brother, for using our code, man, and buying Magnet, man. Hopefully we can get some more, man. So make sure y'all go support Magnet, man. It's a great product. Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. I know you're asking why Magnet. It's power-packed electrolytes, and it rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement, whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, you can use the promo code Cris and Mall to get $5 off your purchase. and save some money, man. So shout out to James, man, again for accomplishing our first purchase. Shout out to Magnet for being part of our show. We always appreciate that and the belief in this show, man. So appreciate everybody, man. Use the promo code
for sure. Also, go get our Cristal and Mall tee. Shout out to Ben. He got him a shirt last week. I finally delivered it to him. Appreciate you, Ben. But yeah, man, get your shirt, man. $25 on the website, plus shipping, so it's like up to $29. But black and white shirts, man, you know what I'm saying? Get you one. Represent the pod, man. And look, I got mine on right now. You know what I'm saying?
Great holiday gift. Holidays coming. Great holiday gift. You know what I mean? Sleep tea, workout tees, whatever you want, man.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do with your t-shirt, it is your shirt.
Yeah,
just tag us in it, and let us know you got the shirt.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Yeah.
Also, if you want to donate to the Cristal Mall podcast, just hit up our Cash App at Cristal Mall Podcast. Whatever you want to donate, we'll greatly appreciate it, man. We just trying to take this podcast to bigger heights and get better equipment here, better computers, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? We just want to make this podcast look good for you guys to consume and watch, you know what I'm saying, and listen to on the playback. So yeah, whatever you want to donate to our Cash App.
Absolutely, man.
What else? All right. Whatever streaming platform that you use to listen to your podcast on, Cristal Mall Podcast is available, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever it's on. Whatever you're on, Cristal Mall Podcast is available. Also, if you're a first-time watcher on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can jump in the lives with us. You can tap in with us in the comment section. Give us your opinion on the topics that we talk about. We want to hear from you. We want you guys to be a part of this show just as much as we are. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you use to do your social media on, the Cristal Mall Podcast is available. If you have follow us, we'll follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports, various other things. If you have critiques or feedback, or if you have a question or topic that you want us to bring up on the show, you can shoot us a DM, hit us in our mentions, or email us. If we like said question, we will bring it up because we want, and we will shout you out on the show because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All right, good people. Until Wednesday, hope you guys have a good couple of days. Enjoy Monday Night Football as much as you can tonight, or basketball, whatever your choice of sport is. College basketball, I know, is revved up too. So hockey too. So hope you enjoyed the next few days, and we will be back Wednesday evening to give you more sports topics and other stuff. So till then, we out.